dummy.
Have you ever been in the lights, my nigga?
Yeah, as a fan, goddamn.
The center of the lights.
Hey man, fuck you. Why you always judging me?
Damn, I'm asking. I'm real. This is real.
God damn, leave me the fuck alone.
See, he don't even know he done been in the lights.
Them niggas done started already,
My
goddamn.
man just said he put a whole Ferrari together, but he don't take that as
Right, because and that was his, but that was his time to shine.
He get mad at
but he
me,
got outshined.
He get mad at me. No, you been in the lights, nigga. You don't even know it.
Yeah, my man did kick your ass in the Boy Scout thing.
No, man, that nigga used his daddy. I did that shit on my own. Fuck him.
Well, you should have learned how to bend the rules.
His was a Ferrari. What yours look like?
A station wagon. That nigga
You
had a
remember that shit
station
the
wagon.
Little Rascals made?
And the other boy, my other boy pulled out a whole jet, goddamn. Here we is. You tuning in to the Dummies podcast. I'm Stop.
I'm Joe.
I'm Todd.
And I'm motherfucking hooted, nigga.
And this is episode number 2. It's September the 22nd, Saturday. We live from Destin, Florida. We had our annual Dummies getaway. This is Summer Vibes number 3.
You did.
Yeah.
What's happening? I made it.
Shit, where we at, Hoop?
You know what I'm saying? We here in Destin on the beach. Today is Saturday. What is it? September 22nd.
Which you just said.
Right. That nigga shit in the notes. Listen. The first thing he did was not listen.
I didn't listen. I was preparing. But fuck that. We here. We in the beach. You know what I'm saying? Me and my niggas, our ladies, we here enjoying ourselves. We need to get away from all the bullshit. You know what I'm saying? We've been planning this for 6-7 months, probably since the last one. Just here enjoying it, man.
Right. And part of the, the planning phase was, we take this trip every year, but it was trying to determine when we was going to drop the podcast versus, damn, can we record from the beach? And we was like, man, hey, we got to give them an episode. So Here we is, live from Destin, Florida.
Here in the moment.
Hey, man, and I love this trip. It's super dope. I get to goddamn bullshit with my niggas. And, you know what I'm saying? Even on a relationship tip, it's just dope to get away and be around other couples and y'all just fall all in love again and all that other
Right. That
extra
shit
shit.
helpful.
right.
That shit real helpful.
Right. And
That shit needed.
yeah. And it's my first trip,
Welcome, nigga.
Welcome, nigga.
And hey, it's everything that y'all niggas described it as, man. We've been having a blast. And
You ain't get no cutty last night.
I got cut it last night. I cut it this morning for I ain't even ate. Well, yeah, I did eat. But
you ate good.
I ate, but I ain't eat no food yet. But I did get cut it immediately following. So, nigga, don't play with me like that. Don't play with me.
I was just throwing you at it.
But yeah, it was a short week again, We released the first episode last week, episode 1. We appreciate to all of you who viewed it, who listened to it, who gave us feedback. We heard it. Y'all called us country. Don't think I ain't know. I heard it.
And I need to know, am I country also? Because I really don't know.
Yeah.
Yes, nigga.
I mean, you have lost a little bit of your New Orleans swing, but hey, some of the feedback I got said that everybody but Hooter.
Yeah.
But shit, we from Alabama, man. I don't know what to tell y'all when it come to that. That's our lingo, that's our swing, and so it is what it is.
Nigga, country rap tune shit going on around here.
Country rap tune shit.
But yeah, we appreciate the feedback. Thank y'all for the support. We seen a lot of people sharing it, and we definitely appreciate that because that's what we're trying to do. We just trying to grow it, make sure that everybody hears. So if you like it, share it. Give us your feedback. We don't mind it, good or bad. Shit, share it with us. We're gonna still keep the show the same, but
Exactly.
we appreciate your damn feedback.
Right.
But jumping into it, man. Did y'all see the Triple G? Well, some of y'all niggas was at my house, but we saw that the Triple G. Gennady Golovkin, whatever that nigga name is, and Canola, they had their second fight. It was a must see fight. They built the anticipation up. Did any of you get the chance to check it out?
I didn't. I
yeah,
just saw it on SportsCenter who won.
Yeah.
We kind of briefly watched it together. I don't know if we was more so watching or talking. I saw a lot of punches being thrown. I want to rewatch it, so I know it's gonna come on again.
I definitely got to rewatch it.
I'm going to rewatch it, but from what I heard, like, my man got robbed again.
I heard that, but I don't know. I need to watch it.
They said it, and I mean, I didn't focus on it like I normally would a fight because it was so much shit going on. They were arguing. We had just got through recording the podcast, so that whoop-foot was definitely in my system. So I don't even like watching fights when I be too drunk because I can't focus like I'm supposed to.
When are you not too drunk, though, nigga, watching the fight at least?
What What you mean?
During the fight.
Hey, no, honestly, the thing that you might never know is I never get too drunk before a boxing fight because you'll miss shit.
I remember
I
there's been 4 or 5 fights. You'll call me, hey man, who won the fight, man?
Right. No. It was one Mayweather fight that I got real drunk and I was sad because we paid about $200 for that motherfucker and I was drunk out of my mind.
Mayweather tripping for that shit.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, so like from what I saw, man, I just feel like, you know, this time they didn't award Golovkin for that busy fighter shit, man. I get sick of that.
Right.
And to me, Canola landed the harder, the more power punches, and I think he was active the whole time. So, I mean, I can't say he got robbed, but it was a good fight, man. Them boys definitely was throwing hands, so it was definitely entertaining.
Yeah, that's what I saw on SportsCenter. That, you know, old boy, he what's his name? Canelo. Said he was landing some big blows.
And that's natural because he's the naturally harder puncher, whereas Triple G gonna jab your ass 60 million times.
Hey, Triple G throw a hard punch too, though.
He do, but that jab will stay consistent.
That's
so
true.
As far as power punches, it's probably what.
And for those who criticize Canola, he actually stood in the pocket. They were saying that like he was scared to stand in the pocket, and he stood in the pocket with him. Yeah. Straight in the middle of the ring. They said that he wouldn't box Triple G from there, and he did it. So I think he did everything he needed to do in planning for that fight. So
right. I remember you at some, it probably like the 8th, 9th round. At some point, you had said these niggas haven't touched the ropes yet. And I was like, damn, they really going at it.
Man, back in the news again, man. My man, he just keep finding a way to keep being in here. LeBron James and John Legend has decided to team up with a female-led Lean On Me series. We just saw since his move to Los Angeles, Bron has been very active in the entertainment world. Not only, of course, we know he's Mr. Basketball, Mr. Everything with basketball, but now he's also producing a lot of short films, a lot of movies, a lot of documentaries, and now he's giving us another one with this Lean On Me series. Has anybody had a chance to read that story or see, like, you know, what's going on with that?
I mean, I saw it. I mean, LeBron is, you know what I'm saying, I have my gripes about him as far as a basketball player, but as far as a businessman, what he's doing for the culture and everything, I fully support it. I like the little kids thing. What's the name of the little kids thing? The football players in Miami?
Warriors of Liberty Park.
Yeah.
Liberty City.
Liberty City. I like the Liberty City thing. I like Survivor's Remorse. I liked him on Trainwreck. Like, he is really an engaging and funny person. So I love everything that he's doing.
Right. And I agree. I was watching, I don't know if that was this morning or last night, but I was watching where he may be the first person who have a deal, or not a deal, or who he's doing business with HBO as well as Showtime.
HBO, Showtime, right.
Simultaneously, as well as NBC, ABC.
And that's dope because,
simultaneously.
You know, sometimes they do make it a situation to where, like, if you're doing with one, you can't do with the other. But that's dope that my man being able to get a bag from Showtime and get a bag from goddamn HBO and produce different things for them. And that's, to me, that just makes it better because, you know, instead, like, HBO might only produce one show at a time for him. Whereas, okay, I can have this one on HBO, I can have this one on Showtime, and Warriors of Liberty City actually comes on Stars. Exactly. So shit, shouts out to Bron for that.
3, yeah. But no, I think Stars and Showtime is kind of under the same umbrella or something like that. I think.
I don't know.
But it's his brand, man. I mean, outside of Nike with his sneakers, that man is a business. The name LeBron James is a business. So
and that's what they were saying. They were saying everybody want a part of LeBron James.
Right.
And it's so dope to me that Bron, like, you know what I'm saying, he could pick these big figureheads to work with, these people who've been in the business, but he got his partners, man. Like, people who went to school, went to college, they got their degrees on it, and he say, look, man, work with me. Right. And they ain't knuckleheads or nothing. They really care about protecting his brand and building his brand because it's their business. Right. It's LeBron James is the head, but it's their business. Right. And shouts out to Maverick Carter, you know, because his name is always, you know, synonymous with everything Bron does, his long childhood friend, the business move that he making. And to me, that's what it's supposed to be about. Right. Not being there to leech off, because it's easy to just come for the ride, but make your worth there. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, make your moves while you're under that brand. Use that platform to advance it. And I think Bron is doing a good job, him and his team, for what they doing for the culture. Shouts out to Bron.
I fuss with Maverick Carter because, like, like you said, like, don't just give me, you know what I'm saying, a bag. Just put me in a position to make us more money, to make us better. And Maverick Carter is doing that. He paid for them boys to go to school. He paid for them to, you know what I'm saying, be able to do what they're doing now. And they're a part of his brand, and I think that shit's super dope.
Right, and I'm with you on that. I respect Matt Ricardo as well, simply for the fact that it's not from the aspect that you're my homeboy, so I'm gonna put you on. It's you're my homeboy, I'm gonna put you on, but I'm gonna do the motherfucking job as well. And do it good. So
I'm gonna put you in a position to be able to help us.
And he's good at it.
Yeah, he's very good at it.
So,
that's why I hated Dan Gilbert, little weak ass dude. Like they always around, and I was like, man, yes, that's his team. They looking out for him. Fuck you,
Right,
Exactly.
right. Because at the end of the day, they doing what's best for him. Don't get mad because you got a team around you too, Gilbert.
Right.
Way bigger team.
Shouts out to Brun. Shouts out to his team. They doing what they do. In other entertainment news, man, I don't know if y'all had a chance to see this, but we saw that Cat Williams gave an interview with V103's Frank and Wanda on their morning show Friday. And we saw in this interview, I mean, Wanda did definitely give Cat Williams a lot of jokes, and Cat Williams kind of gave her that little chin check, like, hey, leave me alone. And she kept going, and my man turned goddamn to comedian. And my man roasted her. If y'all ain't seen it, it was definitely funny from a comedian standpoint. But we saw that shit came with backlashes, apparently, allegedly, that they bumped into one another again at his comedy show later that night. Some words was exchanged. Some incidents happened. Did y'all get a chance to look at that or see anything about that?
Yeah, I seen it, but did you see the TMZ interview when they was interviewing him about it? He kind of made it seem
he never answered the question.
He never answered the question.
He danced around it.
But I guess I see both sides. Like, if
I'm not gonna say that out there like that. I ain't gonna say this man put a gun in my face on TMZ's camera, so I could get why he danced around.
But no, I was talking about the whole aspect of it, because if that's what my wife does, you know what I'm saying, it's a give and go. He kind of went a little disrespectful, but she was going at him too.
Yeah,
I don't think I'm going. But first of all, you pussy if you pull a gun on Cat Williams. You just gotta fight that nigga. Right. So if that happened, nigga, you pussy. If you can't beat up Cat Williams, get your ass out.
You better go hire that little 17.
Cat Williams keep that razor blade. Y'all ain't never seen Friday at the Next?
You seen that nigga fight a 15-year-old in the project?
Yeah, I was just about to say that 15-year-old showed and struggled with that nigga. He had his ass.
But that 15-year-old boxer. Can you really fight a 15-year-old though?
He tried to.
That's the sperm. Ruin his sperm.
Cat Williams, but shit came out with a natural after that fight, goddamn. But Cat Williams, said some slick stuff. They said that Wanda's husband checked them, which, I mean, hey, as a husband, sometimes shit, maybe it's one thing on air, but I think what they were saying was when Cat Williams seen her again, he started doing the same thing that he was doing earlier at the radio show. Mm-hmm. So as a husband, if you said, hey, that's the question. As a husband, right?
This is the question of the week.
Right. This is the question, right? As a husband, spouse, boyfriend, whatever you want to say, if your wife is a personality on air and a comedian go to roasting them, talking about her real bad, are y'all defending it? Are y'all jumping up? Are y'all pulling straps out to defend her? Or are y'all going to understand the nature of the business?
Well, I get it, but it just depends on how disrespectful you get.
Right.
If you sitting there cracking your little simple jokes, cool. But when you starting the deep dive and you going on for 10 and 20 minutes and it's nonstop, like, come on, my nigga, chill.
And
respect that.
And if you know this gonna create a problem in your house later, you might agree with, like, all right, y'all was just joking. But sometimes you got to do shit for your household that you don't even agree with.
Right, but to be fair, I don't have a problem with Cat Williams did on air.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't either.
I don't know what happened off air, but on air, I thought, maybe he went a step or two too far.
He kept going. She got him.
Yeah.
Like I said, I mean,
she got him started.
Like Huda said, with the on air, that's cool, but I think the confrontation came for what you did at the show. You still continuing the situation even after, like, hey man, it's done, man, let it go.
Right. So all out of name and everything.
Right. So sometimes, and then they said Cat Williams said, "Well, I beat your big ass up too." That's allegedly what he said.
He was talking shit in that video until he started running.
You see how my man ran
into Publix, didn't it?
That's what they say.
My man got out of Dodge. Cat Williams say, "Shit, I ain't standing there." But speaking of that interview, piggybacking off the same subject about Cat Williams and about this interview, he did say some slick stuff about a lot of other comedians, one of which being Tiffany Haddish. Talked about her not really being funny, talking about things being set up for her to win. And we know a little bit of Tiffany Haddish's story. For those who don't know, she was homeless, and she was brought up under Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart kind of helped her a little bit get her platform, and now we see Tiffany Haddish winning. And one of the things, if y'all didn't see the Breakfast Club interview, shouts out to Breakfast Club. They had Tiffany Haddish and Kevin Hart on there, and one of the things they talked about is they definitely dived into this topic. And Kevin Hart had a lot of stuff to say, in particular in defense of Tiffany Haddish, coming off of what Cat Williams had to say. Did y'all have a chance to see Kevin Hart's response to this incident?
Yeah. We watched it together.
Yeah, we watched together in the truck in Destin, getting seafood and stuff. But I kind of want to hear y'all point of view before I say mine, because I got a lot of shit.
If you got Todd, let us know.
Well, I mean, I think Kevin Hart hit the nail on the head with it. I really do. At the end of the day, man, like, we do this podcast thing, you know what I'm saying? And I would be remiss to say if we knew somebody like a Joe Budden and he saw us doing it and he didn't put us on, you know what I'm saying? It's about helping your people, you know what I'm saying, go reach that next level. And I think Kevin Hart has been doing a good job with the people that's around him. And even with Tiffany Haddish, I just feel like he hit the nail on the head with it. Don't blame me for your fuck-ups. I just,
right.
You know.
That's why I see that with it, too, you know what I'm saying? Because I didn't look at it like that until he actually said it. He was like, hey, man, you had your chance.
Right.
You could have been here in the limelight. You chose drugs. You chose not to show up. You chose to trip out on set.
Right.
So I respect what he's saying. And to be fair, Kevin Hart, that nigga works.
And Cat Williams was that nigga, boy.
He was.
Yeah.
He was.
He was.
He definitely had a good run.
Right.
But we also found out his numbers and his statistics was pretty trash.
They said that they was inflated big time.
No, they wasn't inflated. Cat Williams was lying.
Yep.
He's a hater. and it just is what it is. Like he's lied about everything, and like he's funny. Okay, cool, but like you're hating off Kevin Hart because you feel like that's where you should be. But man, if you ain't put in the work that he's put in, you can't hate off that and hate off Kevin. Like Kevin Hart said.
I don't think it was Kevin though. I just think he a hater. Because he hated on Kevin, he hated on the girl, Tiffany
Haddish,
right.
the Burris guy.
I have 24 million. Nobody's ever did that. So when he said that to me, he's hating on everybody because he's lying on everybody.
Right. And I mean, my personal take on it is, especially with today's temperature, you know, we've talked about this several weeks, about, you know, as a whole, how hard it is. I mean, just not even from comedy, but for black people, period. I feel like we just need to salute each other more. Right. Like, to me personally, if this take off to a point where we're big, which it will, you know what I'm saying? But it take off to a point where we big and people want to hear our opinion over others and stuff. Like, it's not on me to talk bad about somebody else. Like, It's enough demons and things circulating to make it hard for you to get to that point. If they haven't directly said something to me, and even then, like, I'm the type, man, like, if they ain't physically putting hands on me or trying to check me about something, I ain't got nothing to say about them. Like, if I'm in an interview, an interviewer's job is to get you to talk about some shit that's going to look good for them or be controversial. Right. But my whole thing is, man, I'm here to talk about whatever the agenda is I'm here to talk about. Mm-hmm. Like, whatever their business is their business. Like, let's salute Kevin Hart for putting the platform, because like Kevin Hart said, we see those different specials where he going to get a lot of local comedians. We've seen people from Birmingham on his platform. Right. Like, you know what I'm saying? Use your platform. Like, when you're up so big, use that to bring other talent up, because the world needs to see that other talent. Right. So like, it's not on us to talk down on people who are trying to be positive and bring other people up. That's just my take.
Right, and that's what I was saying with the whole Meek and Drake thing. When they, you know what I'm saying, got together, they can get a whole lot more done together than divided. Like, you separating your fans, you know what I'm saying? You making them choose a side. Right. Why make them choose if it's all funny? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. And to go off what Stock said, I could see some people come out here saying you sat there and said that you don't talk bad about people, but you have a podcast. Like, we're not sitting up here talking bad about people. About anybody in particular.
We're never going to
really do that.
Hating on you. So don't come with that response, for one.
Right.
And if it's a peer or a person we see you trying to do that thing, we're going to big them up. But if you doing foolish shit, we're going to call you out too.
Right. So, man, if a podcast never said anything about us and they successful, like, that's like us going at Joe Budden podcast.
I wouldn't.
Like, for what? They haven't said anything about you.
I'm a
fan of it.
Exactly.
I'm pretty sure Cat Williams listens to everything Kevin Hart does.
Or watches it.
And he's just being a hater.
But I will say one thing. just a general comment, like with Cat Williams bringing more people up. I don't like sometimes.
You mean Kevin Hart?
What I said?
You said, yeah.
I'm sorry. Thank you. With Kevin Hart bringing other people up. God damn, I still said that shit wrong. Fuck wrong.
Oh, you said it right that time.
Oh, well, shit, goddamn, y'all got me confused. This nigga's a dummy. Dummy. Fuck all y'all. But what I was just saying, with him bringing other people up, one of the comments that I seen from different platforms is, I don't like when people say, oh man, this one person do it, not everybody trying to do it. Like, that's cool. Like,
that's the game.
Right. Like, nigga, that's what's supposed to happen. Like, I'm pretty sure when McDonald's opened up, Burger King didn't stop.
These niggas making
Wendy's didn't stop.
Wendy's didn't say, oh no, they're doing it. Let's not do
like,
that.
it's enough. Like, nigga, that's not affecting you. Like, be secure in what you're doing. Like, enjoy your platform. Pull somebody up, maybe, if you decide to do it. And that's why I like Kevin Hart, because he's not scared of the new talent that's coming up. He's going to reach out and say, new talent, I like what you're doing. Work with me. You know what I mean? But some people sometimes toot their nose up at people trying to do the same thing that you had to do.
Right.
And like, stop doing that lame shit. That's lame to me.
To me too, because they don't realize that that's how you continue to learn. Man.
Right.
Like, older people don't know how to use a computer, but these younger generations can. Like, if you pay attention to them,
and sometimes you get stuck in your ways, and you just like with rappers,
old nigga.
Just like with rappers now, you have to look back to the younger generation and see how how are you navigating this? How you ain't got this big budget, this, but you in everybody's speakers.
Right.
That's
Come
kind
on,
of
man.
like
Chill out.
That's kind of like I hate Hot 97 now. I hate Ebro because like he doesn't
don't listen to
embrace.
him.
Yeah, no, I don't listen to him either. But because no, like, you know, a lot of people go to New York and do their media. So they'll do Breakfast Club, they'll do Hot 97. And when I listen to Hot 97, it's just not a good interview. But
I don't listen to it, but to be fair, I hear that same sentiment from everybody.
I say that to say that he doesn't embrace the up and coming people. He want to be, oh no, I'm doing this, I'm here. That's one thing I like about Charlamagne. He brings people up, kind of like Kevin Hart does. Yeah. So I was just piggybacking off that. So, like, man, if you're in that position, like, bring people, bring the younger people up.
To me, man, I just love helping anything I've ever done in life. Whether it's I have a little bit more than somebody else, which I don't have a lot, I have enough. You know what I mean? Right. I just love to like help some. Like, to me, it ain't nothing better than helping somebody get to a bigger place. That shit make you feel good. But I know everybody's not like that, and that's cool. Everybody ain't cut like that. But
it's in your head, it ain't.
Yeah, it's either in your head or it ain't. That's as simple as that. But we're gonna move on that because we talked about that, and I think everybody's point was very relevant on that.
Don't hate, bring up your peoples.
Right, bring up your peoples. And speaking of bringing people up, for those of you who grew up on something like this, I know I watched it when I was a little kid, and I ain't gonna sit here and lie, but we saw that Bert and Ernie. Yeah, you know Bert and Ernie from Sesame Street. Y'all remember Sesame Street. Don't act too tough to act like you don't remember Sesame Street.
That shit was on Channel 42 in Mobile.
On PBS. Yeah. But we saw that Bert and Ernie, your favorite, childhood characters, was actually a gay couple. It was basically said that the educational TV show from 1969, that's how long Bert and Ernie been around on PBS.
About 90?
Right. Yeah. That's a long ass time. But now, nearly 50 years later, since its inception, the writers of the show is basically spilling the beans that, hey, that Bert and Ernie was actually a gay couple. They wasn't just best friends or cool. They was actually a gay couple. Did anybody have a chance to read that or sit on that story and see what was up with that?
I read it. We always kind of figured something was up with them because they stayed together way too long. But
I didn't.
No, I always thought that, like, all right, that's kind of a little weird. But
I just thought it was a TV show, and TV shows try to stick together as long as you stick together.
And as a kid,
as a kid, I didn't think about it until they said that shit a week ago.
Right.
As a kid, I loved it. I mean, we just thought it was just two men. But man, I just hate, like, maybe it's real or whatever, and he was gay, and he bakes it off his partner or whatever. Cool. But I just hate how, like, in today's society, we have to include something gay in everything.
But do you think they feel like they need to be included? They're already included.
No. Think about any show. It's it's a gay thing in every show.
But what,
It's a
Whether
heterosexual.
it fits or not.
Just to toss it out there, this is not opinion, but there's a heterosexual thing in most shows.
Right.
You know, so
tell me, why is this making them any different from
right?
what they were before?
It just
Because that's more normal. I mean, I'm sorry, it's more heterosexual people than it is gay people.
I can't say that.
It's,
I don't know the statistics on it. I just don't. I don't have a platform. I don't have the ability to say that it's more than the other. I just think at the end of the day, we are all human, and we understand now that in 2018 that they're couples, and no matter if it's gay or if it's heterosexual, like, I mean, it is what it is. I don't think it matters one way or the other.
and to be fair, I'm sorry, Tom.
Go ahead.
To be fair, I'm gonna speak my stance so I can be clear. I don't care either way. Whether
Right.
you're gay
Right,
or
right.
straight,
Right, do your thing.
Right.
do your thing.
Yeah.
Right, but
That's
the
why I'm
question
saying.
that I have about it is, how long has Sesame Street been on?
69.
50 years.
60
50
years.
years.
So, during that period, in the shit,
Tough to be gay.
Or it's tough. Yeah, you can't be gay. You know what I'm saying? So, for him to come out now,
You get why he doing it.
you know what I'm saying? It's kind of hard to say it back then. You know what I'm saying? You get your ass lynched if you gay. You know what I'm saying? So
Back then.
is what
Right.
I'm saying. But right now, it's more accepted.
Right. And I mean, if that's what the writer said, I'm gonna go with the
I'm gonna go
writer.
with the writers. He created
right.
the shit.
He
Yeah, I'm gonna
created
I'm
it.
the writer, and
You
then
have to. You have
and
no
then,
choice.
then
Or I'm gonna say I'm gay if I'm not.
I really want to make this point, but like, it's nothing wrong with it. I just hate when it's forced. I watch Will and Grace.
Why you think it's forced though?
No, I'm saying when it's forced.
Okay.
I watch Will and Grace. I love Will and Grace. Even the older episodes,
Never
like,
watched it.
I have no problem with it. I just hate when it's just introduced for no reason. Kind of like on Power, it was kind of introduced. Kind of like on what's the Fox show with with my man on it?
Who? I don't know. Fox.
Fox.
Lucius.
I never watched it.
Empire.
Empire. Yeah, they just kind of threw it out there to kind of.
But if that's what they want to do, I mean, they had a gay guy
But my
talking
whole
about it. So
when you say it's forced, right? Let's just be clear. When you say it's forced, we watch shows. We talked about Little Rascals earlier. Was that forced that they showed two heterosexual? Like the little kid liked the little girl. He liked Darla. You know what I'm saying? That's not. We're not sitting here saying that's forced. It's normal. So in 2018, that's normal.
No, I'm just saying when it is normal, there's no problem with that.
I get it,
But like, just don't throw it in for no reason.
But my point is, why are you saying when it's forced? Like when?
Yeah, you saying when it's forced. It's not forced. They're showing now in 2018. That's what we saying. That they're showing normal reality. This is reality.
Because sometimes
see
it
what he's
seems
trying
like,
to say.
okay, this is the gay character because we have to have one.
I
get
get what
that.
you're trying
And
to
that's
say.
what it seems like.
I see what you're almost like. Oh, we got to have a black coach.
Yeah.
Let's hire Willie Taggart, even though he saw her.
Yes,
Right.
yes. But let's put this gay character
I'm sorry, I
in.
had to throw that in there because Willie T. Look, man, I know it's affirmative action and all that. Get him out of there.
Kind of
Anyway,
like a
Having
show
hard
that's just
time with that
running.
Willie Taggart hire, boy.
Kinda like a white
Having
show.
a hard time with that shit.
Kind of like a white show that's just going and great. Oh, shit. We need to throw a black person in. And then it doesn't fit.
yeah, but
That's what I'm saying. When it doesn't
But
fit.
does that apply to what's going on right now with Bert and Ernie? Do you feel like it's forced right now?
I don't.
I don't.
I think it's normal.
I love the
do-
story. I
so-
think it's okay.
So
I
why
think it's
bring
cool.
up when it's forced? That makes it sound like you think this is forced.
I think
Yeah.
everybody needs to be able to feel comfortable
Right.
with
The
what it
Sesame
is that they
Street-
do.
Right.
The Sesame Street didn't bother me. It kind of like I understand it more. Like, with him saying that, he was like, well, this is based off my partner. I like that more. I said that to say about other shows when it's just thrown out there just because they feel like they need a gay character to represent.
I feel what I feel what you're saying.
I got what you were saying a long
I
time.
definitely feel
I
what
really
you're saying.
did.
So
I really did.
yeah,
Yeah,
but
hey,
shouts
y'all
out
don't come
to
after me. Like, I'm LGBTQZ,
TC.
LG.
That nigga named 100
Alphabets.
letters. We know what he's saying.
Man, whatever you want to be.
Right. We get what he's saying. And shouts out to Bert and Ernie. Shouts out to the writers for being inclusive. Moving on. We talking about communities and we talking about things that go on in our communities. I want to give a special shout out. We talk about Brun and the things that Brun doing, but this man is definitely deserving. I know a lot of people don't get to hear about this or get to know about this because they don't talk about him as much. But shouts out to Jalen Rose. For those of you who don't know about Jalen Rose was a member of the Fab Five, Michigan. Michigan brought swag to the basketball arena. They was the people when people was wearing them libbit ass John Stockton, them libbit ass can't get right shorts. that my man had on in Mexico.
Hey, the ones that we all have on right now.
Right,
I ain't
no-
even gonna lie. Yeah.
Hey,
we all-
no.
We all
When we
of
go
us-
to this beat,
Not them John Stockton.
Hey, John
shirts.
Stockton.
No, ain't nobody got on them John Stockton today, but Todd probably. But
Stay tuned. Stay tuned to when we go on this beach. I got thighs out.
Come on, bro. Please.
Let's go.
said thighs out.
Come on, bro.
Man, tripping. But anywho, Jalen Rose, man, the Fab Five bought a lot of swag to the NCAA. You know, the black socks with the Nike swoosh. Nike never cut them people no big check for it, but they made Nike a lot of what it is today, I think.
Yeah.
But Jalen Rose, man, he doesn't get a lot of credit. He played in the NBA for several years. He is also an NBA analyst, ESPN analyst. But Jalen Rose has his own high school. He did it years ago. Not saying that one is bigger than the other, because each person who is in the community, who is giving back to the community, deserves their own recognition.
Right.
But with Jalen Rose, we saw that he has a high school, for those of you who don't know. And his high school, he opened it up back in September of 2011. It's the Jalen Rose Leadership Academy. It currently has an enrollment of over 400 students. That's 9th through 12th graders in Metro Detroit. Detroit has had, its issues. It's one of the cities that you always see for its issues. But his high school, it has a 93% graduation rate. And to me, that's something to be applauded.
Yeah.
So shouts out to Jalen Rose for having that 93%. Not only that, it has a 100% placement rate with college. These kids are graduating at 93%, but out of those 93%, 100% of those kids are going on to a higher institution to get an education. These are kids from the inner city Detroit, from the hood, from the projects, or even middle class communities. I don't care where they come from. It's something to be said for a man who is giving back to his community and doing what he's doing. So I just want to give a big shout out to Jalen Rose and everything that he's doing in the community for the students.
Kobe put up 81 on him.
Yeah.
But that has nothing to do with, I want to say, he's a real nigga, but, I want to put him in another step above that. He's just an upstanding guy.
Real nigga.
Yeah, because he's always been like that. Right. And then he talked out about Chris Webber, weak ass. And I love
keep
that.
That same energy.
Yeah, keep that same energy. But, man.
Yeah. But, man, come on, go ahead.
Chris Webber gonna think about that time I had to choke shit I can't get right of him.
Nah, I love Chris Webber for doing that because he played against North Carolina when he called that timeout. But fuck Chris Webber, he's a fuck nigga. But and I don't mind saying that.
Let him go. Go ahead.
I'll fight Chris Webber.
Okay.
I don't mind.
I'll fight Chris.
Chris Webber, what's happening?
I'll watch. That's all.
But nigga, if he getting the best of me, you better jump in.
I'm coming.
I know, because I want the jokes. The jokes will be funny than actually helping you win. I'm sorry.
I help you up, my nigga. I help you up. I clean you off.
But we'll talk about that shit so bad, but your ass get beat up.
I'm gonna record.
Hey, man.
Hell yeah. Just like this.
One thing for certain and two for sure. Chris Webber is not beating me. I'm sorry.
He's 7 foot.
Nah, that nigga about 6.
16.
He's soft though. Y'all remember Sacramento versus Lakers?
What you got? What you got?
Jalen Rose a real nigga though. And then
Yeah, straight from
he didn't have to put it out there like that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I don't know if it's better.
I don't know
or
if
worse.
he did put it out there though. It just happened.
He
He's
don't.
just not a bigger name.
It's out
but
there. It's gonna be out there.
Right.
I respect it a little bit more. No, it's just cool either way.
Yeah, like I said from the beginning, and my bad, who to cut you off, I'll come back to you. Like I said in the beginning, I don't care, real nigga, not nigga, if you black and you giving back to your community, I appreciate that shit. I would love to start a school. I would love for us to start, a program mentoring to the youth, which we are. It's coming. You know what I'm saying? I don't care if you at the biggest or the lowest, wherever you from, man, shouts out to, people who doing that.
Right. I second that. So, Detroit, like you said, man, it's a rough city, man.
It's a rough city.
This shit it's just a gray area in that city. So that shining light on the city, that's a lot for them. That's a lot for them, I think.
Yeah.
And see, you know what I'm saying? The reason why I respect it is because he's a nigga like me.
Right. Just like us.
Right. And he's doing the things that I want to do. He's talking for a living.
Right.
For an audience.
Right.
In a good manner.
Right.
And he's doing shit back here that nobody knows about.
And taking his experience that he learned from, going to Michigan, you know what I'm saying, and being
seeing that news,
seeing that what environment,
right,
being at ESPN, being in the NBA, seeing that environment and taking it and bringing it back to kids that's never seen that environment.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And showing them that it's better. I met a man, you know, just recently. Shouts out to Cuz for introducing me to this man, Yab. And one day I want to bring him on here. We'll talk about it. But he did 20 years. And he got out. And here's a man who did 20 years and he could easily just, you know, throw in the towel or just worry about himself. But he started youth programs for these kids. Right. Shouts out to our youth football coaches who get paid nothing to teach these little kids the game and instill pride in these little kids. So shouts out to them for that.
And on that, hang on. I just want to talk for a second. I got two things. Mm-hmm. One thing is shout out to Marcus Cousin.
Give me one at a time.
Yeah. I can't give you both of them.
You be trying to.
Yeah. Because I'll skip over the first question.
Exactly.
That nigga talking a whole nother language to give us some other shit, though.
But shout out to Marcus Cousin for what he did in Mobile.
Yeah, shouts out to D Cousin.
Because he gets a bad rap as being, you know what I'm saying, a bad person, but he put his own money in, community center, new basketball
court.
Yeah. And shout out to him, you know what I'm saying, because his family's from there. He's not even from there, but he loves the city.
Yeah.
And he wants the kids to do better. So I just want to say that. But it brought me to a different part that I think I asked y'all before, y'all being football players, with the kids coaching. How would you take in somebody coaching your child? Like, if it's too much.
I like that. And see, that's why I asked you for one thing at a time, because that's...
Keep that nigga, you gotta keep that nigga focused tunnel vision, man.
Yeah, because the first one wasn't a response thing.
That's
yeah,
why.
yeah.
Okay, I got you. But you made it seem like you had two questions.
Right.
But you know what I'm saying? Hey, if my kid is playing ball, nigga, respect that coach. These coaches are gonna be tough on you. In order for you to be good, you gotta have that.
Right. What if you feel like it's too much?
It's gonna take a lot for me to feel like it's too much.
Right.
Because you've been through that environment.
But if you feel like it's too much, then it's probably too much.
It's too much.
And I never forget when we was watching Last Chance U. I remember Baron. Baron was like, man, that coach cussed too much. Or he too hard on it. And
that's it.
And I'm not saying that, you know, that he was or wasn't, but we've played football. Shit, Cuz sitting right over there, goddamn. I seen the coach goddamn blow smoke out his breath when it was 95 degrees, cussing Cuz out. Right in his face, talking shit. Nigga, you got to be tough on these kids. They playing a sport. And man, you get so much from this sport. I promise, like, I know that people just want to talk about the head injuries and they want to talk about you getting hurt. And that's true. That's prevalent. And I wish that the sport could fix that. But, however, in saying that sport teach you so much about life, man. Right. The balance of life, whether it's being timely, being self-disciplined, being focused. And I'm not mad at a coach for being hard on my kid. Right. Be hard on them because life is hard. Man, don't nobody goddamn give you no roadmap when you jump out this bitch and it's time to pay bills and shit. You think the bills be soft on your ass? Hell no. Fuck that.
Right. And I'll go back to that story. The coach I respect the most was my park ball coach.
Right.
It was a nigga with the stupid afro, like Parappa the Rapper. He had the stupid afro, and the nigga had about 9 slugs across.
9 slugs, yeah.
9 slugs. But if you fuck up, that nigga gonna slap the shit out you, helmet on and all.
Hell yeah.
Shit turned backwards.
Yeah, that's it.
But I respect him the
most.
most.
That was tough.
Yeah.
Man, Coach Quinton was a coach. Markel will tell you, man, Coach Quinton didn't play the radio with us. But Coach Quinton, he wasn't no big time, college coach. But all my coaches, Coach Quinton, goddamn, he taught us the game. He was tough on our ass and he didn't play. But I think the mark of a good coach, too, is not necessarily just yelling at all, just to yell. Right. A good coach has to understand that I can't talk to Todd the same way I talk to Huda.
Right.
I might have to cuss Todd out.
Right.
But with Huda, I might have to sit him down. Hey man, you real great.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And you gotta impute wisdom in them. You gotta put the knowledge in them. You know what I'm saying? And every player doesn't react the same, and you have to figure out how each player need to be taught to.
And
that was why I wanted to ask y'all that question. And plus, Todd is a coach.
You got coach.
And I'm gonna tell you something, man. I promise you,
Coach Todd.
What up, though? Hey, as you know, I coach high school basketball, boys at that. So,
do you coach?
Every time
you tell me, do I coach?
Why he always? I don't know, Todd. They say your team would get beat 62-3, and you wouldn't call a timeout for them.
Call a timeout for what?
You tell us.
Call a timeout for what? They get
maybe get your ass out of
the let him say. Go ahead.
Right, we'll get. We'll talk about that part. We'll definitely get back to that.
I was hoping to eye for the listeners.
But real shit though. As a coach, man, I promise you, the first thing that we tell, I know our staff, we have a parent meeting when we ask you to bring your student who you're gonna have playing for us, we ask them to bring and we talk to the parents. Allow your kids to be coached, regardless of how it comes
that's the
out.
hard part right now.
Everybody's a superstar.
Right.
Everybody is not. Let me put that out there.
And every parent's a
Your
coach.
child doesn't. Just because you watch TV and see LeBron James, Steph Curry, and they do these amazing things on TV, your child has to work at that shit.
Right.
They're not born with those abilities.
and-
LeBron James wasn't born with that ability.
And to speak of that ability,
he was born. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No,
Finish what you're
LeBron James himself, some would argue he's the greatest basketball player on the planet right now.
Right.
He wasn't born that way. He was born 6'8", 260 in high school.
He was a six.
So he
worked
so
out.
when he came out, he was born. He was 6'8" when he came out.
It seemed like it, but no, but you get what I'm saying.
I know what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying?
He was born with the attributes.
Yeah, right.
The
He
talent.
had to work to get to where he is
Right.
now. Steph Curry, he had to work to get to where he is now. So, what you got?
No, go ahead.
I would argue that Steph Curry had to work harder.
Absolutely.
I agree.
He wasn't Steph Curry.
I can't say that.
He had a dad who was in the NBA.
I would never submit to the notion that one player necessarily works harder than another player. But what I will say is, from playing college football and being transparent, a lot of these boys who we see who make it to these leagues, and this is one thing that parents need to understand when you signing your kids up for this. A lot of that talent, just like with education, we say this too with education. I'll get back to that. But a lot of these kids, man, they may be born with the talent. They may be born with that gift. However, you have to put a lot of work to be in it. These NFL players that you see, I guarantee away from that practice field with that coach, those boys put in the work and the effort. And I will say, even with me, you know what I'm saying? Like going into college, look it up. I was on the Dick Buckus Award watch list. You know, that's awarded to the nation's top linebackers. Right. But in saying that, I didn't put in the work that I needed to put in off the field, away from UAB or away from your college. It's still a whole nother level that you have to tap into. And you hear your Jerry Rices, you hear your Randy Mosses, you hear your LeBron James, you hear your Steph Currys. Them boys were sick with it. Like, even after they left that organized shit, they went and did their own thing. And if you don't go out there and do your own thing to develop your talent, you just talent. Because once you get to college, everybody's fucking talented.
Right.
Everybody's Mr. All Region. Everybody's Mr. All State. They all did something back where they came from. That's why they where they're at now.
Right.
But to get from where you're at now to that professional, because even when you get to college, nigga, only like 2% of college players make it to the pro levels.
Right.
And that's because those people are putting in the effort, the extra work, to develop that talent, to hone that talent, to make them what they are now. So to parents, you know, who think that their kid just go there and he's supposed to be the star, shit, make sure he working outside of that.
Right.
I just have a quick question, and I don't want to stand alone. But you said that, but I was saying that Steph Curry maybe worked harder.
Let me comment on that. That's where I was going to go. That Steph, I don't think so, because I think he had more. He had a dad who was in the NBA, so I really do think that LeBron, he saw it every day. So he chose to work as hard, but I think LeBron worked harder because he came from goddamn the bottom back there, way back there.
And just to piggyback off what you're saying and come back to you, the hardest thing is going back into a personal situation, what I was just talking about, right? I never saw nobody do that. Right. You see what I'm saying? So I never knew that was something I needed to do.
Right.
With Curry, like he's saying, he saw his dad do that every day. He was around NBA champs, NBA legends. He looking at Larry Johnson. He looking at that shit. So he sees what it takes to get to that level. It's something to say about Bron, who never had no dad, who just had a single mom who was young raising him. But he learned that if I want to be the best player on the planet, I got to do extra stuff. So that's why I'm not trying to say that LeBron worked harder than Curry or any of that. They both work hard to get to their point. But what I'm simply saying is, I feel like it was more of a feat for Bron to get what he had than a man who had two parents in the house, who could pay for training, who could put him in the camp and still raise the ball.
Right.
I like how you saying Bron worked harder.
So
fuck you.
I was saying more the size aspect, but I want both. No. Y'all just hold on. Let me go here for a second. How much different you think you would have been 6'4", 240, 50 how much different you think you would have been? Well, I was talking to Mustaki as a middle linebacker.
I'll make it easy. I'll make it easy.
How do you think you would have been as a quarterback, 6'4", 200?
Let me answer it for you. I think if I was 6'4", 240 in the hood, maybe I'd have made it. But I think that if I was in Steph Curry position, the same size I am now, I know I'd
But
have
when
made
you
it.
say that hoop,
I know
What you
I'd have made it.
mean?
when you-
hang on.
I know a lot of niggas in the hood 6'4", 250 who ain't get out the hood.
right?
No,
right.
nigga, but they don't have your talent. Like both
They're
y'all niggas
better.
are talented.
There's a lot of niggas in the hood way better than me. I promise you.
Did they do everything they needed to do to get where you was at?
No, they
Maybe I
didn't have the guidance to do it.
Right.
I'm saying with doing, putting in the energy that both you niggas put in to come from where y'all come from and to make it to the D1, would you have been maybe in a better position?
Well, I'll say this.
Taller, bigger.
I always currently say if I was 6'4", I'd have been in the league. I say that.
Okay, yes. That's what I was saying. Okay, Steph Curry damn sure put in the work.
Right.
But he wasn't blessed to be 6'8". Like, nigga, how many niggas is 6'8", 260?
That's true. And I'm not gonna say that attributes.
Don't matter.
It's a lot of different variables.
Right.
Okay, so just a fact.
And to be fair, he's 6'3".
Just a fact. What we said with Curry. Curry had a father who was there, right?
Yeah.
We talked about fathers, not
I keep
necessarily
telling
being
y'all,
there.
man, that father shit overrated.
Yeah,
I keep telling you.
I keep hearing you say that, but what I'm saying with Curry had somebody who helped guide him.
Of course,
and like
of
I
course.
said, it's a lot of different factors. So just because you got your dad there or somebody there to help, we just saw Brun. Brun didn't have a dad, but he still made it to the highest platform. But what I was saying was, like, my dad played fullback for the University of Wisconsin. Top Division I
Why
school.
the fuck we keep hearing all these facts about you on the podcast? Like, I don't even know if I even know you.
Yeah, we don't know this
Right,
nigga, man.
right. Okay, so not only that, he played for the Philadelphia Eagles.
This nigga here,
Right.
Out like a
All right, y'all
motherfucker.
call me privileged. This nigga.
Great, but my dad wasn't there. You see what I'm saying? So he couldn't tell me all of this shit that he was doing. I have to read this shit. That's what I'm saying to you. So what I'm saying, like, stepping back onto Curry,
Gotcha.
if you had a dad to say, look, son, do this, do that. Watch out for agents. Do this, do that, do that. You got
easy.
somebody who already went through that path, who already took all them lumps and bumps to teach it to him. That's what we talk about all the time.
Right.
And that's
Most
why-
of us got kids. You may not have kids, and that's cool. I'm not saying it as a problem, but you got so much shit that you can tell your kid to avoid. That's why it's very important as a father that we want to make sure that we there for our kids.
I think it was dope that his son, Steph Curry, dad ain't let him play AU because he was like, he's teaching bad habits. And Todd was speaking on
Todd
this.
said that.
said that
Yeah,
shit all the
Todd
time.
said that.
And also-
He hate AAU.
Another thing is, that's why we saw that LeBron had controversy and Steph never did. Like, remember in high school, he was going through that shit with having a Hummer and having a
Yep.
loan.
Yeah, tattoos.
Well,
and,
Curry
yeah.
never had no
Nope.
shit like that.
Because Pop's gonna say, man, hey, stay away from that shit,
Yeah,
bro.
it ain't it.
Hey, look, hey, you, Mr. Agent, go your ass back away from my
But
son.
in all
I got it.
fairness to Bron, everyone knew his senior year.
I knew.
He was the very first pick.
Yeah.
So you know what I'm saying? Steph, you didn't even know what college he was going to.
Right.
He went to Davidson. So it's not about, you know what I'm saying, how hard he had to work. His dad being there, that shit plays a major role.
Right.
Like, I don't care what you say.
And-
Like that shit there, that is vital. No, there's no greater experience than experiences.
And it's crazy because we got way off,
Yeah, I
but
forgot
shouts
what
out to Brun, and shouts out to Curry because they got in there, and shouts out. We started here by Jalen Rose
Right.
just saying about how important it is for kids and a figure to be in that genre. I mean, moving on to music news. Shouts out to my man Black. Black dropped his second album, his sophomore album. It was called East Atlanta Love Letter. Did y'all, like, I'm not even gonna give much of a segue on it other than he dropped. I don't know if a lot of people even familiar with Black, but this is his sophomore project. If you're not familiar with him, make sure you go on to iTunes. It reads like 6 Lack, but it's actually Black. He said it. So definitely go check that out. But for those who are here in this group today, have y'all had a chance to check out that East Atlanta Love Letter?
Yeah, I like that shit. It's smooth. It's a mixture of hip hop and R&B. Even I like it. You know what I'm saying? Especially now.
It's the East Atlanta Love Letter. Good love better. That shit's so dope. That's the only thing I've been playing since that bit came out.
And you, if you haven't heard of him, if you heard the song X Calling, that's him. that shit that was jamming. So
That's what put me on him.
I ain't gonna lie, like I like it, but what made me go back and listen to it was the Joe Budden interview when he was just talking and he was just like, you can kind of relate to his, you know what I'm saying, to him a little bit. But that made me go and check out his project. This is the first time I really checked out his project. But I like it. Like the shit, like from start to finish, was good to me.
And I first heard of Black a few years back. Actually, right after he dropped his first album, I was riding in the car and I heard, the song come on the radio. I was like, who the fuck is this? And, I did the little Snapchat where you can see who it is. And then I clicked on his project and listened to it. And I remember sticking it in the group message and was like, man, this shit live, man. Y'all go look at it. Because the music that he was saying to me was so relatable to life at that time. And I was just like, shit, this a nigga who, and for me, I always say this, that I love music that is relatable to where I'm at. And I feel like, he was definitely giving us relatable music. And just the way it sounds sonically, the beats that he picks, the way he raps, his hooks, his rhythms. He can rap and he can sing. And I just like it. It's just dope. And I think this East Atlanta Love Letter is another example of some dope music. So for those of you who are looking for some dope music, make sure you go look up Black. And the name of the album is East Atlanta Love Letter. I promise if you listen to it, you'll definitely be grateful that you did.
I'm glad you brought that song up because my first time hearing that beat and that song was a Future song. It was I could hear the
Perkins Call.
Right.
Yep.
And so I always wondered whose song that was. Was it his or was it Black's? And Black cleared it up on that interview. He was like, nah, that's my song. And he's a real humble dude.
Right.
Like I always say, shit, if I get big, I'll never change. But you never know. And to see somebody who hasn't changed, who's still humble, that shit is pretty goddamn cool.
And the thing about my man Black, he doesn't do a lot of interviews. Right. And if anybody is familiar with the Joe Budden pull-up, if you're not, YouTube it, Joe Budden pull-up. He gets in depth with a lot of different celebrities or artists.
That's the first interview I saw.
Right.
That's the only interview I've ever saw.
And what he says makes so much sense. Like, in music so much we do get drawn into personalities that sometimes that's a bearing of how we feel about them overall. And what he said was, part of it was, he don't like giving interviews because he doesn't want his message distorted. Right. And sometimes in your interviews, it's so much about how it's edited. You don't have control over how it's edited, how it's put out, and what people choose to use and what they don't choose to use to help clarify bigger statements and sometimes they can make you look stupid.
Or you don't want people to have their own view of you. Like,
right.
Nigga, I want you to see me how I want you to.
I want you to see me just for my music.
Right.
Listen to my music and judge me solely off of what I'm giving you. I don't want to be judged off of this interview I did last week. I want you to listen to my music, listen to the passion of my music, and judge me off of that. And that's what Black, I'm sorry. That's what he said about his music. And I think that's kind of dope. A lot of new artists are like that. Her, you don't see a lot of interviews from her either.
I don't know what she looked like.
And that's
I finally saw her.
But
that was part of the new age R&B. They don't do that.
They do that.
She was on some award show.
So it won't take away from the music. She said it. Like she was like,
she look good?
Yeah, she's cute, the girl. But she always wears shades.
She's cute. Yeah, she wears shades and she's cute.
Right.
You know what I mean? But that's the thing. Like, does she look good? Like, who gives a fuck what they look like? Do you like this music and are you feeling it? And a lot of times in R&B, we do get caught up, not us per se, but the masses sometimes does get caught up with, oh man, she ain't even cute. Like Lil Wayne said a long time ago. You know what I'm saying? They write the song and then they put the little cute face in front of it and let her sing the song, but it ain't even her song. So now, to me, things that they're doing is putting power back into the musicians' hands, I think. And like, don't judge me off of what I look, judge me off of the music that you get from me.
Right. But nobody's gonna do that. Like, if you look at,
I will.
You did.
No,
people did. People
think about the top R&B artists, women.
I did.
They all were attractive.
I like.
Yeah, but the best ones didn't get that shine like they deserve.
And that's why it's cool what they doing.
Name me one popular unattractive R&B artist.
Well, she wouldn't be attracted to you or the masses, but Tweet. She came out the same time Ashanti came out, but you ain't hear shit
She was
about
cute.
it because it was
And I
Ashanti.
love her. One of my favorite
We
songs.
may love
is-
her. We
Kelly Price.
right. Kelly Price. She another motherfucker that can sing.
She
her
was
ass
big, but she was cute. She was big and
Which
cute.
is why I think it's good of what they're doing
Right.
now.
I
Hey,
agree.
stop judging me off of the way I look. Like, I mean, and I'm not talking about just
Right.
a nigga.
It's just
like,
something that
for
we
the
do.
longest, we don't even know what the division nigga look like.
Right.
We don't know what
I
he
still
look.
don't.
Right.
It's a
And-
group. It's actually a group.
Right. You know what I'm saying? For so long, people thought it was one person.
Yeah, I did.
The mystique is great. Like, judge me off of my music. Stop judging me off how I look. Because I do want to judge them off of their music. I'm not going to judge them off how they look because I just like good music.
like the music.
But it is a masses of people who, oh, she not cute. She can't rap that. Man, come on, man. She's singing her passion. She's
Right.
singing what she's been through, the things that she's seen or done. I like that shit. Put that in your music.
We shouldn't, but I was just saying, like, as a society, for the most part, like, we do like attractive people, nice looking people. I mean, that's just something that we do. Now, whether they're talented or not, no. But like, Beyonce wouldn't be Beyonce without look like nigga. She looks amazing, even though she's greatly talented. But she wouldn't be that if she looked
I
like
don't
Kelly
know.
Price.
You can't really
Bobby
say
Brown.
that because Aretha
Does that
Franklin
only go for men or women?
Have you ever heard?
Only for women?
I think it really only go for women, but for the most part.
I don't
Because
know.
I mean, you got Seal. Like, I ain't trying to judge some nigga, but shit, he gotta be like not attractive. He got big bumps across his face, but he still is accepted. So I think it works more for women that they have to be attractive in the music.
Then in this instance, then I think it's dope that Black is doing that. If for men it doesn't matter.
Right.
Yeah, and I don't even think that man think about it like that. I just think he doesn't give a shit, and he just wants you to judge him off of his
Right.
music.
Yeah, that's
And,
what he said. That's what he
Right,
said.
and that's it. And staying on music, you know what I'm saying? We saw that my man, I guess he's saying that he's back out of the sunken place for Kanye West. Kanye West is moving back to Chicago, back to the Chi. He's trying to recreate the earlier music that he's made, and he's decided to take his talents from LA to back to Chicago, to his roots. We saw him visiting his childhood home. We saw him visiting a lot of staples in Chicago's neighborhoods and areas, basically saying that he's getting back to his roots. We even saw that, and I'm gonna tie them in together, from him moving to Chicago, and we saw that him and Chance are allegedly gonna do a collaboration album together. We can talk about it together or break it up, however y'all choose. But Kanye's going back to Chicago. Any thoughts?
I need one thing at a time. Kanye going back to anywhere, I don't care. I don't think the Kardashians are going to be in Chicago.
Kim, we saw that allegedly Kim made a comment that it's not conducive for her kids to go back to Chicago. She's not going.
Yeah, okay. So shut up, Kanye, again. You're still in the sunken place. Or maybe the sunken place is telling him to say that. That's what I'm going to go with. Him and Chance, I don't care for. As far as the album goes. As far as the album goes, I don't care for it either way. There's supposed to be 2 other albums, the Throne album, who we don't know who it is to be. I hope it's Jay-Z. If it is, I'll listen. And what's that third album supposed to be?
Chance and Kanye.
No, Yandi. I don't care about Yandi
Listen,
either.
let's not be fooled here, man. You can change addresses, but he's the same guy, man.
Yeah, you're the same sunken.
You know what I'm saying? Like, nothing that he said, his actions, like what you do, speaks so loud I can't hear a word you're saying.
What about those actions of him going to the school with all of the black kids?
Hey, man, if it's a
Action.
camera, do you see Al Sharpton all the time when the cameras come around, don't you? But you don't see him,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying,
Right.
on
And
the
so
front
I
line.
said that
you
to
know?
say. I said that to say because you said action. So people, because you see him going over here to these schools, to these black kids, don't believe that makes him out of the sunken place.
Exactly, and that's what I'm saying. It's about what you do, man. And I'm just gonna be honest with you. I'm not excited about any Kanye album. I'm not. Like, if you say that Wayne was coming out, hey, I'm ready. Whenever that shit drop, I'm waiting to hit add to my library.
Right.
You're gonna be waiting. But
Yes.
I got 2 things to say. So my first thing is, why do you 2 niggas have on shades and we're inside?
I'm gonna be.
And I'm cool.
I
Simple.
love,
All right, and moving on.
Second, yeah.
why you got on clear shades?
But I don't care what Kanye does until he puts out good music. Cause nigga, you're a musician.
Right.
Like, fuck your political views. Okay, they might be. I don't care about that, nigga. This is what you do.
I care about it, but from him, I just want to hear good music. I don't care.
And he hasn't put out good music in a minute. And that's all I care about.
To me, and this is a nigga who, going back to the previous topic, if you don't do interviews, we can judge you just off your music. But since you keep doing all these antics and all this crazy shit, we have to judge you off of it, and I'm going to judge your ass off of it because you're doing it. I've never been a fan of him. I'm not saying that he can rap. He can produce, he can make good. I'm not that person. I'm not going to not give credit where credit due. He has made some very explosive music, and there's some verses that I really be like, man, that nigga went off.
Right.
But I'm just overall not a fan of his. I never been a fan, and I don't give a shit what kind of album he puts out. I really don't care. I don't care to hear from him, especially after all the antics that he did. You can't come around and change that to me. Like, you are who you are, and what you have displayed thus far, like, you've been gone for too long. Like, you've said some outrageous shit and some crazy stuff, and to me, like, you can excuse the first 2 or 3. I even tried, like, as of late, to try to go back and try to see if, like, okay, what is it here that everybody likes? Again, he's a great musician. He's a great producer. Not taking that from him, he can rap.
That's why I like him as a producer.
Right. But I'm just saying, like, overall, I can't.
I like him as a rapper.
I can't really get with him, and I don't give a fuck what him and Chance put out. I never listened to Chance either. Not saying I love what Chance does for his community. I love what he does overall. I love some of the music, but I've never really been much of a fan of his either. So
I tried to listen to Chance, and I just didn't understand what the big hoopla was about. It wasn't that much to me.
I don't know the name of one of Chance's songs. But as a person, Chance is cool. But I want Kanye to get back to, and maybe that's selfish of me, but who isn't? Get back to what I liked him for, being a producer.
Right.
Or the 808 and Heartbreaks was my favorite album.
Man,
that's
it's not.
me.
It might not be my favorite, but I love 808s.
It's dope. It's real.
It's like, man, you can put that on when you driving home or something.
That shit dope.
It's just so relatable. And then this is what I want you to do. When you get a chance, just listen to 808 and Heartbreaks by yourself.
I did.
He's not gonna like it.
I did. And what I be saying is, like, and we've had this discussion before, and I know a lot of people will tear me up about this. You know, I haven't been a big Jay-Z fan. That does not mean, like, I want people to stop saying that, like, oh, you don't like Jay-Z can rap. I'm not taking anything away from his rap ability. It's just that the kind of music that I like, that resonated most with me, I haven't been big of a fan of it. And Kanye is another person. I went back and I listened to all of his albums. I want to say this was recent. I told y'all in the group message, like, I'm finna go back and listen to Kanye. And I tried. I see that he can rap. I get that. But his songs,
it's just not for you.
Yeah, they just wasn't my cup of tea, and that's cool. That's all right.
Wrong with that.
Yeah, I'm not trying to take away from who he is as a person and what he's done for the culture. But as of late, I don't give a shit what he do now, man. That shit that he made is ridiculous. As far as, you know, his comments and everything, and him moving to Chicago is just a plea to get back to the community and get people to like him again. Some people gonna fall for it and allow it, but me, nah.
But as the dummies, we not falling for it.
I'll say I'll wait for the music because that's all I care about. He's a clown everywhere else. I like him for the music.
But I think the music gonna be trash. Think about how many people he's ruined. Like, that nigga couldn't even put out a good Nas album, and this is arguably one of the best rappers ever.
I was anticipating that to be a good album, but it is what it is, man. I like the Pusha T album. I like the Tiana album. I didn't care for his album or the him and Cudi album, but
I don't even know if that's what's so crazy. I don't even know if I even listened to him and the Cudi album.
Yeah, I think I tried and I made it halfway.
I know what I didn't do. Listen to that shit.
Hey, me either, goddamn. Didn't even attempt to push play on that motherfucker.
I can't even lie. I used to love Kid Cudi. That first one, man, that shit used to roll, boy. But
and if Todd don't listen to it, that's tough. Because that nigga that listen to the most
everything,
weirdest music
everything.
ever.
So, you know.
But shouts out to him. I guess he trying to recreate himself. I'm not falling for it. Others may. Hopefully, I mean, at the end of the day, if he's giving back to the community and he's doing stuff that's legitimate for it, cool. I appreciate that. We saw that Lil Wayne was supposed to release the Carter 5.
Damn.
But didn't. We never, ever heard it from Wayne directly, but there was a lot of rumors swirling around that Lil Wayne was going to release the Carter 5. Everybody got excited. There was people tweeting about it. People talking about they ain't going to sleep, trying to stay up to midnight waiting for it. But it never came. Any thoughts?
I was one
Give me
of them.
like 10 seconds. Hang on.
Go ahead.
He thinking
Get off,
of his
nigga.
joke
Go ahead.
right now.
Well, to be fair, that laugh is wrong.
Nigga.
Because again, Wayne never
never
said it.
No, y'all was all like, man,
I
we ain't
would.
gonna let y'all down every time.
How? He didn't.
And when
tell
it
me.
comes out, he gonna let y'all down again.
Social
How many
media.
times y'all gonna be sitting on the porch waiting for this nigga?
Listen to
What did you? What's the source?
Wayne didn't let me down. Social media did.
Right.
They put it out. Wayne
And
never
social
said
media
anything
say
about
so
it.
much shit that I always be wrong.
His own daughter posted it.
But Wayne never posted it.
Yeah, Wayne or his
Wayne
label.
never said it wasn't coming out either.
Shit, his daughter could have read the same thing
And to
that
be
we
quite
read.
honest, man,
You don't think his daughter can call? Can't your daughter call you?
Yeah, but it's
Can't your
sometimes-
daughter call you?
It's also sometimes where I can't answer the phone either.
So
she
you don't
might
put
have-
it out.
She might have saw the same thing that everybody
Listen,
else
bro.
said and just went with it right
listen,
then.
bro, that only I can't even lie. It only builds more anticipation to the album come out.
Thank you.
I'm gonna be honest with you
Right.
because I'm going
Right.
to listen to that shit.
And that's the only nigga I'm checking for. Waiting on. I ain't gonna lie.
We're gonna listen
Right.
to it and be disappointed together.
What was the song you sent us? Him and
Swiss
Pharrell.
That
Swiss
shit was
Beats.
jamming. That
Ooh,
shit was
shit,
rolling.
man.
I told you.
He still was displaying the
Ooh,
rap
yeah,
ability.
boy.
that
Did you
we
listen
see.
to it?
That shit was good.
This is what makes you think that this one.
and-
ain't gonna
and-
be-
But see, that's my thing. Like, I don't think that he's a bad. Like, he's still great.
I get it.
I just don't think he can put out a great body of work. And I want greatness from Wayne.
I get that.
Because I expect it.
And maybe
get
that
that.
was the
And-
postponing part of it. He don't
And
feel
maybe-
like, as an artist, this is my greatest work.
But
And I'm gonna be
I
honest.
don't think an artist ever maybe feel like, and maybe you could say this, but I don't think an artist ever feel like. I think an artist always think it can be better.
I mean, we always think that. Like, shit, we
Right.
just saw that with content creators, period.
saw
We
that with
did a
ourselves.
podcast, right. We just did a podcast last week that we've been around now at this point, 16 of them, only 2 episodes went out. So when we say 16, we talking about our practice episodes included. Well, we didn't think that was our best podcast. And a lot of people came out and said, man, that shit was live. Like, that was a good podcast.
Yeah, I was
So
surprised.
As a creator, sometimes you do have, like, it's so much things that go into, like, how you feel about it. It could be the atmosphere, the environment, how many laughs y'all think y'all share. Like, shit, at the end of the day, it's all for naught. Like, I think my man gonna be comfortable with what he put out. And from the songs that we've heard leading up to it, I think it's gonna be a hell of an album. I'm waiting on it.
I think.
I just hope I'm wrong.
I hope
hope
you
you
are
are
too, and
too,
I think
bro.
you are for the simple fact that he's ready already. He's ready already, which tells me he has something. He's not just about to put no bullshit out. I think he's ready to put it out, or that these words and these stories are coming out because they know it's fire. They weren't
Right.
being in a hurry to put out no trash. They just got released last week. Nigga, they ready already?
And it's still waiting to be seen. So we'll see what comes of that and what happens. Shouts out to Wayne. We were waiting on the Carter 5, my nigga. And we're rooting for you. Hopefully he give us that.
Shout out Mac Main too, man.
Some of us are rooting
Shout out
for
Mac Main.
Right.
Damn, nigga, I'm rooting for him too.
you.
I just
that ha 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 shit. It sound like
Yeah, like
that nigga let y'all little silly asses down. Y'all was up to me.
It's like
he
you
never
waiting on-
he
it's like
never
a-
said it.
That was like you waiting for him to fail.
Right.
And
Exactly.
he did.
No, he didn't.
No, because he never said it.
Nah.
But we saw that moving on into football, we saw, what are y'all thoughts, man? We saw that the Browns finally got their first win in there with Baker Mayfield with the Browns. We saw Baker Mayfield came in, Tyrod Taylor suffered a concussion, allowing the Browns to put Baker Mayfield in the game, their rookie quarterback who they drafted in the first round. Baker Mayfield had an electrifying performance. Came in a spell of them, and actually, not only did he have a good performance, he delivered a win. Did anybody get a chance to see Baker Mayfield? What y'all thoughts on
and
that?
unfortunately, I mean, I was rooting for old Tyrod, but yeah, buddy.
Yeah,
He might have to go and get a career as an analyst right now because Baker is. I'm telling you, he seemed to be as advertised. And to give them boys a win, you know how long it's been since Cleveland won?
A long time. They had a tie.
Like
They
600
had a win in a
Yeah.
while. I think it was like a 16. No,
600 plus days.
Yeah.
yeah, it's been a long
Right.
time.
All last year, Christmas Eve 2016.
That's a
However
long
many
ass
days
time.
that is. Christmas
Well,
Eve
That's a lot of life that
Uh,
been lived.
Is Tyrod Taylor getting his spot back or no?
No, I know, and I've been, you know what I'm saying, I've been on this side that you do not lose your job to injury. But we've got the greatest quarterback of all time due to injury, Tom Brady. He got his job because Drew Bledsoe got hurt.
True.
Never came back in. We got this.
Right.
So fuck that rule. And he got you a win that you haven't had in 600 plus days. So
Agreed.
sorry, Tyrod. I love you. You cool. I don't love you. I don't know you. But as a player, I love you. You're a good player. I wish you were still in Buffalo. I do, but
he may get a chance to come back because Buffalo. If Mayfield is gonna take over and Tyrod is just sitting there, maybe Buffalo try to come in with some type of trade to get him back because they're gonna need some help.
They can't because they have a number one draft pick at quarterback who has started a game, and once you start a game as a number one quarterback, you gotta play or you're out of there.
Well, I don't think he's ready.
That
Though.
simple.
You can bring him in as a backup because I'm telling
it's
you,
too late.
Peterman. He is not the guy.
No. They started
Peterman.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
No,
Well,
no,
who
not
they say?
Peter.
What-
They started
Peter.
Josh Allen.
They started Josh Allen. So once you do that, you have to go with it. Or
But he can back up the rest of the
That's
year.
true.
And I get that.
Yeah, once you start, you either
Just
gotta
like-
beat a man or like get out of there.
Like think about Cleveland. All of these number one quarterbacks they've started. Once they started and didn't pan out, they're gone. Even Deshaun Kaiser last year, he started.
He's
1
somewhere
year,
else right
bye-bye.
now too. Where is
Exactly.
he?
Right, that's what he's saying.
That's my point. He in Seattle.
Yeah, that's right.
Doing nothing.
Seattle.
Seattle holding the clipboard.
Right, and that's all they need to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, and speaking of quarterbacks, we saw that my man Carson Wentz, former number one draft pick, Nick Foles was the quarterback for the Eagles, and with Nick Foles played a hell of a season, spelling Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz went out with an injury. Nick Foles led the Philadelphia Eagles all the way to a Super Bowl and won a Super Bowl, but now Wentz is back. I think it's week 3. And now the Eagles have announced that Wentz will take back over the starting role and be the starting quarterback this week. Do y'all feel like this is a good move by the Eagles? Do you stick to, asking this question, do you stick to what's worked, what's got you a Super Bowl championship? Do you think Wentz will come in and play at the level that he was playing? Because before he left, he was number one in passing efficiency,
Touchdowns.
number one in touchdowns, and I think number 2 in rating or
He was
something
basically
like that.
going to be the MVP.
Pretty much.
Right.
Played that way.
Through 6 games and he got hurt. So now that Wentz is back, they put Foles back on the bench, who got you a Super Bowl championship. Do y'all think that this was a good move by the Eagles to put Wentz back in? Or do you think that maybe Foles should have played his way out of it?
I think Foles played his way out of it.
Okay.
So, yes, to answer your question, I think Foles should have played his way out of it, which he did. Because in those first 2 games he came in, I want to say he stunk it up against Tampa Bay. And in the last game, I want to say they won, but he still wasn't amazing. So he wasn't so good to a point to where you can say, hey, we shouldn't start Wentz right now, or let's get Wentz a little more rest. I feel like they felt that they had to hurry up and get Wentz back more so than let him get him more of a rest. So I think Wentz is going to come in. I think he's going to play better than Foles was playing. And you said do what made you good. What made them good was Carson Wentz at the beginning of the year.
True.
And Nick Foles just came in and continued that with an already real good team,
Right.
which isn't as hard as going a whole year being planned for and things of that nature.
But see, I don't think Nick Foles is a bad quarterback. I just think Carson
I don't
Wentz
either.
is a better quarterback. And like you said, man, you don't lose your job due to injury. And Carson Wentz did absolutely nothing to lose his motherfucking job last year. As a matter of fact, he was going to be the guy. You know what I'm saying? So,
MVP.
And
no,
Go ahead.
I'm good.
Oh, well, and I was just going to say, you definitely can lose your job to injury. But
That's why I said
it depends on how good you play and spell of, the person who lost, who was hurt. So I think Foles has just played average.
You're right.
He's played good, and they won a Super Bowl because they had a great team. They was very talented, and Foles maintained the status quo. But I just still think that Carson Wentz is a better player overall, and that's why he's getting his spot back, which kind of leads me into the next segment of we see that down in Tampa. We see that Fitzgerald is balling in spell of a suspended Jameis Winston.
Which is why I think Jameis should sit over there and let that man continue to play. But that's just me.
And I kind of held off on that because I think it's not a big difference between Wentz and Foles. Foles is maybe a little bit
I think
worse.
it's a huge difference. A tremendous difference.
Well, let me say this. Foles is not good, but I think Wentz is not great. But it's more the system. But as far as the Tampa Bay
Why
thing,
isn't Foles so good? in that system.
Well, he's just a bad quarterback. I don't care.
You just say you didn't think he was good. That bad, I mean.
Hmm?
Didn't you just say you didn't think Foles was that bad?
No, I think Foles is just not a good quarterback. I don't think Wentz is like you can't plug him in anywhere. He's not an elite quarterback.
Gotcha.
It's just more the system. But when it comes to Jameis, man, win, lose, or draw, I think you just got to start that man.
Jameis?
I don't.
Yeah.
You got to start Jameis.
Yeah.
Even the way he's playing right now, Fitzpatrick.
Yeah. I don't. I think
How can you put like 50-something million on the
Easy.
bench?
It's wins and losses.
how much money
That
does
could be
Nick Foles
that could be of trade value to you in the long
Look,
run.
I just want to. You do know how much Nick Foles he makes just as much,
Right.
or if not
Yeah,
more,
he
than
does.
Carson Wentz.
Yeah, but he's not the franchise player.
But
like,
he makes more than the guy behind him. That's the only argument, really.
okay, but who is Tampa Bay's franchise player? They only have one.
I don't know.
The
'cause-
Eagles has a great team.
I don't know because
If you're at Tampa Bay, you have one franchise player,
Which
one
is-
marketable player.
Mike Evans.
No, nigga, Jameis Winston.
It's not, man, because
Yes, it is.
they've been shying away. Your franchise player is the guy you embrace, nigga. Not because you're getting $100 million. You embrace him. It's not just because you getting his money.
They said, hey, we're
Tampa
gonna,
is not embracing Jameis. They're not. And we all
Tampa Bay
know.
said, hey, we're going to take you off the billboards for this first 3 games. But as soon as game 4 is, we're going to put you back on the billboards.
Okay.
That's his Tampa Bay's marquee player, Jameis Winston.
Okay.
And you know that. Come on now.
Okay, you say Nick Foles is trash. Nah, this is his second stint in Philly. You know, remember he played under Chip Kelly, so you can't say it was
Yeah.
the offense. He shined.
He was
He
good.
shined.
For a couple of
No,
guys.
he shined. He had Michael Vick as his backup.
The same way Fitzpatrick has done well in Buffalo and other places.
He's done average.
Yeah, he hasn't done well.
And what I'll say to it is, I feel like it's Jameis' job. I feel like when Jameis come back, you touched on him being taken off the billboards. I think him being taken off the billboards had everything to do with the off the field issues, not necessarily
Right,
on the
right,
field
right.
issues, or not because somebody else is now starting in his place. I think that he made some mistakes, and some of these mistakes, granted, he needed to be punished for. But if you look at Jameis' stats, Jameis has threw for 4,000 yards
Every season.
2 seasons that he was in, and last year, hurt, he threw for 3,500 yards. His QB rating could be a little bit better, but it wasn't bad. I think last year, even hurt, he threw for 19 touchdowns and something like 11 interceptions. Please fact check me on that. I'm sorry. But even in saying that, I just feel like that, Fitzpatrick, man, we've seen him. He's a great backup and he's done good. But I feel like that team, the way they're playing right now, I think they only get better with Jameis at quarterback. That's just my personal opinion. I think when I've watched Tampa play, Jameis doesn't make bad decisions. He's very explosive on that field, and he gives that offense something else.
I disagree.
I know
I disagree
Deshaun
with that.
Jackson and those boys would say something different, perhaps. I don't know. They're there. But I've seen those boys be very explosive with Jameis Winston on the field with that arm talent.
I've also seen Jameis make some bonehead plays. You say he doesn't make bad plays. He's made a ton of bad plays to me. I've seen Jameis Winston drop back 20 yards, run around in circles, and throw a pick six.
To me, he does the Brett Favre.
That's a bad play.
No, to me, he does the Brett Favre. The same thing that makes them so great and makes them great players. And he's such an accurate thrower because they're not scared to trust their arm talent, and they'll put the ball in places that other people won't because they know that they'll make that throw more times than not.
I get that, but I disagree because I don't think that Brett Favre has done that in the simple fact that Brett Favre is going to win the game. He's going to do that, but he's going to win the game.
Right.
Jameis isn't.
Let me ask
Well,
you.
that's the remain to be
let me
seen.
ask
That's
you a
when
question.
Jameis is going to throw those 11 picks.
Are these bad numbers? That's in his.
His numbers is not his number. No, I know his numbers aren't bad.
I'm talking about Jameis.
I know.
Okay, so
what I'm talking about, too.
that's all we
No,
have
his
to go
numbers are-
on as far
his
as like
number-
him being a bad quarterback.
No, it's not, man. At quarterback, it's not all about the numbers, man. It's about when you make those numbers. And if you in the crunch time, you throw a pick six. Or if you back there and you run around in circles like a dummy, not saying he's a dummy, but you run around like a fool and you throw a pick.
Right.
That matters to me.
Yeah.
But doesn't great quarterbacks put up great numbers?
We just.
Or I see what you're saying.
No, not
because
all of them do.
As a former Cowboys fan, Tony Romo used to put up great numbers.
And y'all
never came
hated him.
through
Y'all hated him.
in the
But
clip.
let me ask you this.
That's all I'm saying.
I fully feel what you're saying.
It's
yes.
about okay. I get what you're saying. The situations that they're put in and how they come out of those situations. Russell Wilson. What is this Monday against who they play? The Raiders. No.
He had good numbers. He had good numbers.
No, Russell Wilson. He did,
Yes.
but he threw a pick six. Does that make him not in the late part of the game? Does that make him
No, because it's been proven time over time that Russell Wilson in the clutch is going to succeed, and he has.
right?
And Jameis hasn't.
Yeah.
And neither has Fitzpatrick. But that's remaining. Fitzpatrick has been in the league, man. Let's stop playing like Fitzpatrick hadn't been in the league
been around.
1,000 years.
No.
He's never, he hasn't been a Super Bowl champ. He's just a great backup, man. And he's not your franchise. You're not going to put the ball in the hands of a 35-year-old backup quarterback. If you do, your organization is fucking stupid. That's just my opinion.
He's not, but I'm not going to let you let my argument. My argument is not for Fitzpatrick. It's against Jameis.
Right. But in this season, this year, once Jameis is off suspension, only one of them can start. And if it's me, I'm starting Jameis Winston. That's all I'm saying.
That's you. But if
So if you want to talk about next year and the year after that, fine, let's develop and let's go get somebody we don't know who it is yet. But right now, if I'm trying to go make a run at a Super Bowl with the team I got now, please put Jameis Winston in there. That's just me.
I think if Fitzpatrick, if this is this Jameis' last game suspended?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, and if Fitzpatrick plays good, I think he starts week.
And you know, and that's cool. You know, we'll go all day with that particular issue, but we're going to talk about, you know, somebody else who's faced a lot of suspension, a lot of time having problems and issues on and off the field. Josh Gordon, his tenure with the Cleveland Browns has ended, and now he's been traded. We saw him now with the New England Patriots, one of the top organizations over the last 10 to 15 years in professional sports, period. And now they've just given Tom Brady. They said it's been rumored that Tom Brady was been arguing over having weaponry. We haven't seen Tom Brady have a lot of high-powered weaponry until we've seen the insertion of Josh Gordon. We don't know if Josh Gordon, what's going to happen on the field, but Josh Gordon is now a New England Patriot. What do y'all think?
I think you remember Tom Brady with Randy Moss?
Mhm.
This could definitely be a part 2 to that. I just think
Cool.
Josh Gordon is a great ass talent, man. When he's in his right mindset and when he's focused on football, you got to remember he got to go by the Patriot way at this point. It's either that or you gonna get your ass Ocho Cinco. You know what I'm saying?
and
So,
That's what I'm saying. You brought up Randy Moss, but you also remember Chad Johnson. And I'm not finna call that nigga Ultra Cinco. Nigga, your name is Chad Johnson. But this is my question to ask y'all. Like, if the nigga too stupid to stop smoking weed, do you think he would fit in the Patriot system? Because they say it's so complicated. I want to get y'all views from
Do
it.
you know if he was cut for?
right.
No, but he's been suspended from weed multiple times.
Right.
And then, no, I would say that he wasn't cut for weed.
I know. So
It was just like the last straw. Like,
See, then
nigga,
I'll say that to answer your question. Then I'll say I think he can get over the weed if the reason they cut him isn't because of
no, I'm saying because is he smart enough to play in that system?
it wasn't because if he was dumb in a system. He
No,
did what he was supposed to do.
I'm not saying he's been
He's just
done
asking
before.
in general.
Yeah,
I do.
Yes, I think he's smart enough to
I
play in
do.
that system for the simple fact that Cleveland has a complicated system. It's probably more complicated than New England. New England's system isn't complex.
Oh no, get out of here with that.
Right.
It's not.
Well, what he's saying is just because you see them better and winning more championships doesn't make it complex.
It could be
the
simplistic.
difference. The difference is in quoting from my man Shannon Sharp. Shouts out to Shannon Sharp. I'm paraphrasing, not quoting. I'm sorry, but Shannon Sharp was saying the difference in systems. Right? He was saying why Ocho Cinco had a hard time fitting in New England. When Ocho Cinco left Cincinnati, it was a system preferenced on finding the open spot in the zone.
Whereas in New England,
Whereas when I'm running the route, I see the linebackers, I see the safety. You know, I may sit in that little pouch to get the quarterback to drop me the
Okay,
ball,
yeah.
or I may move. Whereas New England is very directed on, nigga, you have a 10-yard out. That's it. I don't give a fuck what the linebacker do. Run your 10-yard out. It's been rumored that Tom Brady is very, very, very key on receivers and running backs doing exactly where they're supposed to be. That's how it works. He can look at one side of the field, and if the trust level is where it's supposed to be, he knows you're exactly where it is. So if he's looking left of the field at that out route and that shit is taken away, he's going to dump it to the running back because that running back is trusted to be what he was supposed to be. They said that Ocho Cinco sometimes was used to the Cincinnati offense
wanted to
and
get
being able to, okay, I don't want to be there no more. Let me move. And Carson Palmer used to readjust to him. Tom Brady's not readjusting. Their patience is not like that.
Right.
So to say that one is smarter than the other, what he's saying is that system in Cleveland may be a little bit tougher because it has a lot of different variables to it. You know what I'm saying? And it's all about timing. You know what I'm saying? And with Tom Brady is a timing system. If you ever look at Tom Brady, 3-step drop, 5-step drop, 7-step drop, and it's out of his hand. That's predicated a lot on timing. We do this shit so much that I expect you to be where you're supposed to be. So to say that with Gordon, and I know I'm sorry I'm going a little long, but for Gordon, just be where you're supposed to be. That's all New England asks you to do.
And I think he can do it.
I would just say, look, we've seen New England make stars. I mean, of course, Randy Moss, he can go the down route or the go route. But we've seen them make stars out of people that are predicated, they're not the most talented, are predicated on being where they're supposed to be. All these little Jewish receivers that we've never seen before. And they make them be who they are. You know, they make them all-stars.
But you've also saw Randy Moss in that offense.
Yes,
and if you do what he's supposed to do, you see what can happen.
But Randy Moss only had to do one thing.
So if they can make a regular person a star, imagine what they can make a superstar.
But I was saying to say that Josh Gordon be the freak athlete that he is. Do you think that he would fit into that system?
Hell yeah.
If he wants to play in the NFL,
Because he's not.
But also, look what you just said. Has he showed us that he wants to play in the NFL?
They reinstated him. He came
what?
back in shape, ready to play. Man, that man been gone for a full fucking
That
year.
man have been, yes.
Hold up. But yes, because you don't know if he got cut because it was weed. He probably just got cut because he didn't fit their system anymore.
Right. And that's really all that it boiled down to. I mean, when you say he got cut, let's be clear, man. Cut or not cut, I will say that the Cleveland Browns has been one of the most patient organizations in America when it comes to professional sports. You are a grown man. I don't have time to keep telling you don't smoke weed, don't do this, don't do that. Whether he did or didn't, we ain't got time to keep telling the same things over and over again to a grown-ass man. We gave you chances. We haven't seen this man on the field for real in 3 or 4 years, man, because they've been so patient with him. So at this point, like we said last week, we've done everything that we can do for you. Maybe it's time for you to get a refreshed environment where you can thrive, but it's not going to be here with Cleveland, and Cleveland moved on. Let's be cool with that.
And be happy you went to New England and not.
Hell yeah, because it could have been. It could have been a lot. It could have been a lot worse than
Lucky
that.
they ain't traded you to Canada.
Hell yeah. You could have been like Tebow around that bitch. Right. Because you definitely don't want that to happen. But we see that the Pittsburgh Steelers, one of the most anchored organizations, have been very consistent throughout history, from the 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s. Very consistent with coaching. They've only had maybe 3 coaches in the last few years. The owners haven't changed. They've produced Super Bowls, but we see that something's going on in Pittsburgh. I don't know what it is. I'm not going to assume what it is, but we haven't seen the dysfunction that we've been seeing from trying to get Le'Veon Bell signed to the player speaking out in what I would say a disrespectful manner about Le'Veon Bell, to now we see that AB, he hasn't come out and said it, but we've heard rumors allegedly that he's unhappy there. Even after a contract that he may want to been traded, we saw that he missed practice on Monday. They haven't specified what the reason was that I seen. Maybe y'all did, but it was a lot of different issues that went on with that. What's y'all thoughts? What y'all looking at with that?
With that, I don't think that the wheels are falling off just yet. I think it's some turmoil going on, and I think for the simple fact that the media gets a hold of everything nowadays, that the media is just putting that out there, and people are jumping onto it. I don't think we got to look at who Pittsburgh is. Pittsburgh, as an organization, sticks with their coaches.
They do.
Bill Cowher went through a lot of shit in Pittsburgh. He got 1 Super Bowl in 15 years. 1.
Yeah.
Yes, he did. He was a winner. He did win. And this man is a winner. He is winning.
And in the NFL, it's about, you may not always win every Super Bowl, but being consistent. You know what I mean?
He's been consistent.
Yeah.
Well, he went to 2, right? And won 1.
He went to 2. Well, he went to 2. He won 1.
Yeah.
And as well as the one he won, Tomlin was there. Tomlin was on that staff.
I feel what you're saying, and I fully agree. And they're more of a consistent thing. But I think true equality, like, because he's a black coach, is that, hey, judge him on his works. And if his works isn't up to par, then fire him. So
And his works add up to Kyle's works in the same time, if not better.
So
At this point in time in Kyle's
because
career.
their organization, they're more. I don't think the Pittsburgh Steelers will fire him because that's who they are, like you said. But if he gets fired, I wouldn't gripe about it.
I would, man. That man has been coach of the year. He's won divisional titles. He's won a Super Bowl.
Yeah, but what are you doing? Y'all always say, what are you doing for me lately?
And I missed it. You saying you would what?
I would have a gripe if they fired Tomlin.
Oh yeah, I think I would too. Like, what are you firing him for right now? Because of when you say you would fire him, X's and O's again. He's been one of the most consistent coaches in the National Football League. If you're not firing my man in Cincinnati, Marvin Lewis, I don't know what the fuck you would be firing Tomlin for. But that's a whole nother conversation. But as far as like who's in the locker room and who's not, Mike Tomlin doesn't have much to do with that. That's the Rooney family or the people who own the Pittsburgh Steelers. So. To fire him, I would have a problem with it because he doesn't deserve to be fired. It's not like the motherfuckers not 1 in 15
Never
and
have
16.
been.
Yeah, right. They've always been consistently in the mix, been a powerhouse.
And
it's just right now there's some dynamics in the locker room that's, and then I've been hearing a lot of rumors that they call him a players coach. So fucking what?
Good.
He's won a Super Bowl being a players coach. So I think that's stupid. It's just one of those things when you lose, that's some shit that we talk about. You know what I mean? When you win, everybody's like, oh, it's great to be a player coach. So, I mean, I would keep him in place. I just think that that it may be time to move some key pieces
I have a simple question.
around.
Has he ever underachieved? Ever?
I
don't think so.
He's only overachieved.
I can beg to differ that he has because
When?
let me
me
say
when.
this, because Pittsburgh as an organization has the most Super Bowls out of any organization. I think they have 6.
Don't base it
I
off
think
of that.
Dallas have 5.
Don't base it off. Base it
So-
off the teams that he has had. With the teams he has had, has he underachieved? Base it off of that, please.
Yes, because what he got one Super Bowl.
Yes. And tell me a
In
year.
how many years?
Tell me how many years you picked him.
What you mean?
How many years have you picked Pittsburgh Steelers to win the Super Bowl?
I've never. But
Thank you, guys.
I was a Dallas Cowboys
Thank
fan.
you, guys.
But
As-
you always know they're going to be in the
Okay,
mix.
not you then. How many years have they picked the Pittsburgh Steelers?
You probably never pick really because they just do what they do. Yeah, I see your point. But they're not making something out of nothing.
They're not. You can't. I mean, it's impossible to do.
Well, see, the shit that we're talking about, that's apples and oranges in my opinion, because Mike Tomlin has nothing to do with the front office shit. Yeah, he had nothing to do with paying Le'Veon Bell. He has nothing to do with being Roethlisberger being goddamn paid or however his health is. That shit he can't control. He controls the X's and O's on the field. Therefore, I don't think he needs to be fired for no circumstance at all. And I'm never
also-
gonna, push that shit.
He
out
also,
there.
but I don't think he should be fired. But he also controls the environment. He does control the locker room. He does control what comes out of that locker room. So hey, I'm pretty sure he's like, hey guys, Le'Veon Bell is going through a contract dispute. We're not going to talk about this. That is his job.
Okay. Our job is to play football.
That's
Hey,
his job.
Pouncey, don't talk shit about it. Yeah,
And
yeah.
I'm pretty sure he probably had a talk or address it somehow. But it is his job to.
But
Right.
and that's what I'm saying. Like all of the stuff
what
that has
those
come
owners pay him
out,
for.
we don't know if he addressed it after the fact. Like we don't like when AB got caught doing the Facebook going live and shit in the locker room. He got on AB about that shit. You know what I'm saying? Right. You see what I'm saying? It's not whether or not, you know what I'm saying, he can control that shit. Is when it happens, what happens after that.
After.
You know what I'm saying?
That's a good
Right,
point.
so-
Right.
Yeah. Like, how do I address it? How do I handle it after it has
Right, he
happened?
mispracticed.
And I think Tom.
So
Okay.
I'm saying AB mispracticed this week. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, I'm gonna fix
See
it.
what I'm
I'm gonna
saying?
talk to him
Right.
about it. We gonna talk.
And that's the problem because some people be wanting to, well, Mike Tomlin never said. No, I don't have to say what we talked
Right,
about.
right.
We had a discussion. I talked to him man to man. If AB wants to tell y'all what happened, so be it. I would hope that he wouldn't. Hey, that was a talk between me and Coach. We handled it. Everything's addressed. We play whoever we play this week. Let's talk about that. And that's what I said. Like, stop talking so damn much.
And AB has earned that. Although I wish he would have handled it differently.
Right. Of
course.
You're a grown man. This is a business, man. This is no longer we doing this for fun.
Exactly.
You show up.
This
on
is a
it,
business.
Man. Unless there's an issue.
Yeah.
Keep going.
I agree. And shouts out to the Steelers, man. One of the consistent organizations. Shouts out to Mike Tomlin. We definitely want to see them right the ship. We definitely want things to get fixed there. Maybe some changes or things need to be put in place, but we'll see what happens from them. Shouts out to college football, man. You know, we still in our picks as far as college football. I just want to get y'all take our games of the week that we're picking. We got Clemson versus Syracuse, Stanford versus Notre Dame, Ohio State versus Penn State, and Washington versus BYU. These are all top 25 matchups. What we picking? Where you at, Hoop?
Fans, please keep us up to date because we haven't been. And we're going to try to from here going forward. We can even, of course, we can always go back and listen to our picks and see who's winning because at the end of the year, we want to, I don't know, maybe we should put some money in the pot.
Put money in the pot.
I like
you know what I'm
it.
saying? Money in the pot to make a nigga keep up
like
with it. And we could put $10 a week. Shit. Think about the pot.
Something in the pot.
In
In the end, you'll be winning some racks or something.
Exactly, goddamn. But Clemson, Syracuse, I want to say Syracuse is ranked today.
They are.
Okay. Where they playing at? I'm still going to go Clemson. But
I think they're in Clemson.
I think
I don't care if they're playing in Alaska.
I think it matters, man. It does. Because they almost beat us last year. Not saying that.
And they
beat Clemson. They beat Clemson last year.
Yeah, so
They just coming off a big Florida State win. Not saying that Florida State is good, but that's momentum
Exactly.
to beat a good program. Where Hoop?
With that being said, I think Clemson beats their ass because of them beating them last year.
Right. They're going to be like, damn, these niggas beat us last year.
Right,
Yeah.
they beat them last year. I'm glad you brought that up. So since they beat them last year, I'm going to go Clemson.
Right.
Stanford, Notre Dame. I'm going to take Notre Dame quarterback can't throw to save his life. I'm going to go Stanford. Ohio State, Penn State. Fuck. Where the game at?
Penn State.
I like Penn State. This is a tough game for Urban Meyer to come back for his first game, too. So I really love it. So I'm going to go Penn
No,
State.
this is second. He come back this week. So next week.
Next
That
week.
to be a second one. But he good.
Okay. So he's still out? I need to know.
No, he'll be back for the Penn State game. He's gonna be back this week.
Okay, yeah. So okay, yeah, gotcha. Thank you, Todd. I'm gonna go. Fuck. Haskins, Ohio State. Washington, BYU. I'm going Washington. Washington. Hopefully, y'all niggas can stop the pass rush because Auburn killed y'all and just protect Browning. I'm going Washington.
All right.
All right, where you at, Todd?
All right, man. Clemson all day, every day, twice on Saturdays. They're gonna beat the dog skin off Syracuse head. Stanford, Notre Dame. I'm gonna have to go with Notre Dame. Who do you mention? Notre Dame's quarterback can't throw. If you load the
To
box
save
on
his life.
Stanford,
Add that to save.
the quarterback Stanford has is
Stanford?
bullshit. So I'm taking Notre Dame.
So which run game you believe in the most?
You know, I honestly I don't believe in Notre Dame. But if you load the box on Bryce Love, they have absolutely nothing to do. Like you can't do shit else.
I know nobody other
Right. So I'm taking Notre Dame. Ohio State, Penn State. I'm taking Penn State just because I said fuck you, Urban Meyer. You left Florida a long time ago, and I'm still not over it. So Penn State, go
Bit of
fight
breakup,
Penn
ain't
State.
Ain't it? That nigga bitter.
Bit of
I don't
breakup,
care nothing
man.
about it. He left.
Nigga mad because his ex moved on and goddamn thriving.
Yep. Call it what it is.
She better without you, nigga.
Urban Meyer rapping black. I can see my ex calling.
Right.
Y'all know how
Last
he
but not
feel
least,
about his. Go ahead.
All right. Last but not least, BYU, Washington. I'm gonna go BYU. Washington too small. I'm
BYU.
taking
Gotcha.
BYU.
God
All
damn.
right. We'll talk with the upset alert. All right.
God damn, it took you a long time to say that. I got Clemson, I got Stanford, I got Penn State, and Washington.
Your pick's so bold.
Right.
Trash ass. Nigga get no insight. I got Washington. I got Cleveland.
You
I
don't
got.
say my shit too long. Nigga, your
Right.
shit took too fast.
But that's good. Great. Giving me more time to goddamn talk. Exactly what I want. Anywho, Cleveland, goddamn Cleveland. I done went back to the old story. We got Clemson and Syracuse. Syracuse played a big performance against my Florida State Seminoles. I was proud of old Dino up there. They beat the shit out of us.
I like
but
Dino.
I think it's gonna be too much Clemson, too much talent between Lawrence and my other man at quarterback. They're talented. I'm gonna go with Clemson in that one. Notre Dame, Stanford. I'm with y'all. Stanford really has Bryce Love, but that boy KJ Castillo, man, he's thrown for 729 yards.
He been there forever.
Right. And he knows he knows how to navigate the offense. So in a quarterback duel between him and Wimbush, I'm gonna go with Castillo.
Wimbush trash.
Right, and so that's why I'm gonna pick Stanford. Stanford very, 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 very good at what they do. They play sound football, so I'm gonna go with Stanford. Ohio State, Penn State. I like Haskins. McSorley, boy. McSorley is a baller.
That's
you know what I'm saying? He does what he does. They got Sanders at running back. Weber's, he's all right for Ohio State. I expected a little bit more of him so far, but he's solid. It's tough to call. I think I'm gonna go Ohio State with this one. But it could swing either way. BYU Washington, I'm just gonna go to Brown, and Browning is a beast. He's been playing at him and Gaskins. Like I said, they've been there for years, navigating that Huskies offense. And I think they're just gonna be too much for BYU to handle. I'm going Washington.
Let's go Bronco Mendenhall. Man, he finna pull that one out.
Mendenhall. Fuck BYU. Bronco Mendenhall.
Bronco Mendenhall. That nigga brought up a hell of a name, didn't it?
Let's go out on a limb and just, hey, it's week, 3, 4? Let's make a pick. Who y'all think gonna win the championship outside of Bama?
I was gonna say, you gotta include that.
I'm gonna go Ohio State. I love Haskins. That nigga's amazing.
I'm gonna go Bama or Georgia.
Outside Bama, I like Georgia and Oklahoma.
Yeah, I like Georgia.
That would be a hell of a
nigga loaded across the
Oklahoma's crazy. Hey, that's a good pick. I think whatchamacallit can be neutralized though in Oklahoma.
Kyler Murray.
Yeah, man. He man.
Make him throw by
with them real SEC defenses with that speed and that size. Oh, they'll touch
especially going against Georgia.
They want him to run.
They'll touch him up real.
Yeah, I just see it being Georgia Bama again. I don't know how that shit gonna work out this year, but Georgia, man, them boys are low.
If they both amazing,
they might try to make them play each other and shit. You know what I'm saying? They'll play each other in the SEC championship because they're gonna beat the dog shit out of them.
Gotta play
and that shit gonna ruin it. You know what I'm saying?
Everybody gonna beat the dog shit out of them.
Shit.
Sorry, nigga. And here we are, dummy of the week. Dummy. I'm not even gonna start with this person. I want to start with the dude. I don't know if y'all seen my man, but there was a guy down in I think it was Tallahassee. Yeah, this dumbass.
Dummy.
Dummy.
He didn't even belong where he was.
He didn't live there.
He didn't live here. Tallahassee police issued a arrest warrant for a white man who pulled out a gun on some black college students. Here's kids who are trying to, better their future. They in school. And the white man decided to pull a gun out on them and ask them, did they live there? Because they tried to get access to an elevator to go visit a friend. They were visiting a friend. A friend was having a little gathering. And they decided to step over and go visit. And this guy decides that he wants to check them and ask them, do they belong here, live here? Not only was that dumb, but my man didn't even live there either. So police have issued a warrant for his arrest. Not only that, he lost his job. He went viral, so everybody saw his performance that he put on with these college students. All they were simply doing was going to try to go visit a friend, and my man took it upon himself to ask them where they were going as if they were in the wrong. Anybody had a chance to see the dummy of the week?
So it's stupid.
Yeah. Dummy. One good thing, and the only good thing about Trump being president is these racists are comfortable, and they're being racist in public, and I like that. Like, show me who you are. And I like that they're getting fired and disciplined or whatever for being racist.
And I'm glad you said that because let's shout out to his employer. Once the video made its way to his employer, which is the Pax Hotel Group, he was immediately terminated. The hotel chain made a statement on Instagram basically stating that the Pax Hotel Group wants to assure to the public that the former general manager of the Baymont by Wyndham there in Tallahassee terminated him Monday afternoon. Once they were made aware of the incident, he has not been transferred or rehired. They simply cut ties with him right out the gate because they didn't, approve of his actions and the things that he was doing.
And I'm glad you mentioned what you mentioned. I'm glad what you said as well about the Trump.
Who, me, Joe? Jonathan?
Shut up, Joe. I ain't calling you Joe. Can't get right.
No, nigga, you said Joe.
Shut up. Can't get right did mention the thing that we get to see about Trump being president. You get to see them being racist. But it's also harmful in a way because yesterday I have a story. Yesterday we saw a white guy. We was at a seafood place getting some seafood. He made a harmless joke. He was like, "Hey, if you get some music going, we'll dance."
Well,
we didn't
preface it. a little.
Well, we
Go back
didn't
a
know
little.
how to take it. We didn't know how to take
yeah.
it for the simple fact that we didn't know if he was being racist or if he was cracking a joke. We was like, God damn, we don't know what the fuck that joke mean. What the hell it meant? And we sat there and broke it down. And it's sad that we have to sit there and break that shit down. And it's because of people and shit like this dummy who doesn't even live in a building, who's causing chaos, that we don't even know if to take a white man's joke as a joke or as him being racist.
Because
That's the fucked up part about it to me.
Right.
on this trip, it been two different incidents. Now that one, I think because cuz like was kind of like chicken fighting a little bit between the car. So I thought that was just him just kind of joking.
Right.
But
I agree.
I think maybe Stock I think it was Stock was opening the door. And we were somewhere and the white lady was like, "Oh, they should give you a job." Bitch, I ain't no waiter. I probably make more money than you. You know what I'm saying? Like him being
Yeah, that was at the seafood. Yeah, that was at the seafood place.
Yeah. So like I didn't like that one.
Right. And she probably really meant nothing by it. But you don't know. That's the thing. You don't know.
We're so sensitive, but sometimes we just see as racist.
But at the end of the-
Cause like, don't act like I gotta open the door.
See, I think,
But I don't know if she'd have told that to me if I was white as well.
right. And see, that's what I'm saying. A long time ago, man. Like, when did we become so sensitive? And I know. Let's not be stupid, guys. We know when shit is being racist and when shit is just being just casual conversation.
Sometimes I'm at the point where I don't know no more. I really don't. Because my man was smiling and everything. He had no look of racism.
But also,
But maybe that's what Todd's saying. Like, we're so sensitive to, like, we instantly go to, was this racist? Or why couldn't it have just been
Here's
him
when you
making a
can say
comment?
it's
So
racist.
recently, I don't
Hey,
know, but they're
nigger,
making us that way.
let's cut on some music and dance. You take all the goddamn guessing out of it.
Well,
See what I'm
some
saying?
people hide that shit.
Hey, if they don't do it
They
anymore,
hide it
though.
good, and
But
they
they're
hide
not
it good.
That's what he was saying. They're not doing it anymore. They're letting you know who exactly who
no,
the
they
fuck
are doing it
They're doing
now.
They're not hiding it. I don't think they're hiding it anymore.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying they're not hiding it anymore.
That's what I just said. But
what he said.
what I'm saying to
Oh,
you
okay.
is
I
he
think
said
some
he
of them
doesn't
are.
know when it's happening. I'm telling you,
Right.
when I come to you and say, "Hey, nigger," because that's what they're doing now. Like my man, he in the front of the fucking elevator in a state. By the way, when I said when they got that,
I don't think
what's
they
it called? Stand your ground. They in
Stand your
Florida.
ground.
So
I
if
bet.
they even approach him, he's shooting. Hey, he's getting off because it's 3 or 4 black guys and it's just one of him. He had a gun. He shot.
And
See what I'm saying?
And
He getting off.
I beg to differ. I think that we are seeing more that it's more prevalent, but I don't think it's that
Not
cut
all
and
of it
dry
is.
like how you
Yeah,
just
not
said.
all of it.
I think it's more masked up. Period. But it's just more. They're more confident in masking it up.
It's just
so
dumb
like
ones
what he
don't know
said
how.
was I can see how he was saying that like it's hard to tell what's what, but I also see your point in saying
should be that easy.
it should be that easy to see. Or like I said, why are we so sensitive that the fact that they say something that we automatically assume
Right,
that
right.
could
And
be
that's
what
all
it
I'm
is?
saying.
I just take it for what it is, man. As long as they don't say something that I perceive was offensive or that I took offense to it, then I'm cool, man. I didn't understand what my man was saying the other day, but this goes into my point about what we see every day. Like, we don't understand context. And the context of that situation was he had an interaction with another one of our friends. And you know how you get to the door and each person don't know which side to go to. So you go to one
Both
side
sides go
and
left,
y'all
both
both go
sides
to
go
the
right.
same
Yeah,
side at
yeah.
the same time. And then they ended up getting past. So his joke was, next time let's get some music and we can dance.
Right.
For us, we perceived it like, man, what the fuck
Dance,
going on?
dance,
but
boy, what
to
you
the
trying to
person
say?
he was talking to, they understood what they were saying. And that's the problem. You know, we see stuff and we only get bits and pieces of the story and we be ready to jump off the deep end on it. I was guilty of it because I didn't understand what the fuck the nigga was saying. But it turned out our friend who was in the car definitely understood
it,
what he
right.
was saying
He
because
explained it.
once he said it to us, we was like, oh.
Got it.
So I say that to say relax, you know, take the situation for what it is, figure out what it is. If it's that, let's address it.
And that's the thing. That's exactly what we did. We didn't immediately. What we kind of did was like, I don't know what the fuck that means. But you know what?
We just didn't understand the joke, but we didn't.
We tried to figure it out.
Yeah,
we
didn't.
didn't make no shit out of it or no hostility. You know, we figured it out.
I did because, well, no, I ain't make no hostility, but I heard, I don't think y'all heard as much as I heard of it. And then I saw when Cuz was like kind of playing with him. So I saw where he was coming from.
I saw Cuz doing that too, but I
Right.
still didn't get it.
And then, but like, I think that shit was okay. I think he was just making a joke, like kind of ha-ha thing.
Once I figured it out, that's the whole thing I'm saying. Once I figured it out, yes, I get it. He made a joke. But before that, I didn't know how to take it.
When that old wrinkly ass white lady said this shit to stock, I felt a different type of way.
All right.
Because it's more like a servant type.
I mean, that's cool. Like I said, you know, they say what they say. Cool, take it for what it is. But I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I'm feeling a little Vontae Davis, and I'm finna retire you motherfuckers. We in Destin. I've been drinking and I done got activated. I'm ready to go see what these waves out here talking about. This jet ski, this goddamn bike we finna go get. And yeah, this is episode number 2. And we'll be back next week like we never left.
Right.
Anybody got anything they want to add before we got there? Go activate.
Yeah, shout out to our trainer, Willpower Fitness. Shout out to
We ain't trained
all weekend.
Hell no, but I need everything I want to
But
post.
Monday, we gonna shout out Willpower.
Maybe Tuesday.
I'm back Monday. Monday, I'm mad.
Who else got? Mark's Media, video guy. Who else we got?
We got Cuz, the electrician.
Yee.
Modern
Baby. What else we got? Who else?
Are you texting the East? You know what I'm saying? Holla at me.
Courtney.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying?
But follow us on all platforms. Follow us. A new thing we're gonna do is we're gonna post some little clips on YouTube and that. Make sure you follow our YouTube page, subscribe, and wherever you listen to us, subscribe, give us a shot.
Right.
And then we're gonna make it bigger and better for y'all.
We on everything. Facebook, YouTube,
The
Instagram,
Dummies podcast
Twitter.
on everything.
On everything.
The Dummies Pod on Twitter. That's the only thing.
That's the only thing different. And we'll be back to y'all next week. Thank you for tuning in.
You bitch.
Yes, sir.
Dummy.